So welcome everyone to today's Blab. My name is Dennis Smith, and we're doing a Blab on Udemy course creation. And I feel very privileged that I've got two longtime Udemy instructors, my friend Matt Bernstein in Boston and Phil Ebiner in, well, now I forget the name of it, Fullerton, right? Fullerton, California. Yep. That's in Southern California. I was born in California. But anyway, we're going to have a discussion about course creation. I'm going to introduce myself first, and then I'll let Matt and Phil introduce themselves, and then we'll continue going into today's Blab. We are recording. We are live. The replay will be available to you after today's discussion. You'll get an email from Blab, which is really cool. That's why I like this platform. And anyway, I live here in Boise, Idaho. I've been on Udemy since about over just a year. I started on the platform with a WordPress course, and I started going into things like Kindle and some other courses on MailChimp. And then I created a marketing course on Udemy Marketing to show people where they could go online to post coupons, because I started creating a list when I came onto the platform, like, where do I go to market this stuff? And then I started doing Hangouts with other instructors like Matt and also Alan Hill on our first one, and Grant Wehrle and Rob Cubbin. So I've been doing this for a while. It's a lot of fun to do these things. So I have a book that I wrote, and I've got the courses, and I do things to help Udemy instructors promote their courses. Let's go to Matt and Phil, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about how Blab works. So go ahead, Matt.
I've been selling on eBay since 2006, and I started my own business in college while I was studying to become a communication major at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. And at the time, I was able to make $24,000 a year while in college. And then I transitioned into becoming a Udemy instructor, teaching people how to sell on eBay. And now I live in Boston with my girlfriend. We just moved here 2 weeks ago. And, well, I've been living in Massachusetts the whole time. But I'm a Udemy instructor with almost 50,000 unique students, and I'm excited to help you guys learn something new. If you haven't already, I'm taking notes, as well as I recommend everybody else in here should be. And Phil, how you doing?
Yeah, hey, that's awesome that you moved to Boston. But for me, I went to school at Loyola Marymount University in LA. I graduated in 2011, and I studied film and television production. And so that's still kind of what I'm passionate about. And from there, I held a couple of full-time jobs kind of in the film industry. And then I moved out of the film industry and was working at a school, did a lot of research for online courses there. And that's where I found Udemy. And this whole time, just kind of not minimum wage job, but living in Southern California, making about $30,000, not really able to save any money, renting a small, tiny place by myself. And then I found this Udemy thing where I started teaching online courses. I started teaching courses about video editing and video production. I've kind of expanded from there to teach courses on photography, other design-related topics. And then I've also started to teach more classes about marketing and some of the online business topics since I've kind of been doing this. And I started on Udemy in 2012. So October 2012 was when I launched my first course, which was a long time ago, a really long way. And I've seen it grow and change. And yeah, I think I'm at about 85,000 students. And just had my best month last month with over 13,000 in sales on Udemy.
Awesome. You have more students than a lot of the towns in Idaho. And I was going to say that I've gone to school all over the place, including on Udemy. So great. Thanks, guys, for the introduction. Now I would like to talk a little bit about how Blab works before we get into our conversation today. up above at the top of those little circles of the people that are attending the Blab with us. So if you hover over those individuals, like myself, you can follow those individuals, including myself, on Blab. So anytime that I do a Blab, you'll get a notification so that you can subscribe and attend that Blab. Or because you're already subscribed, if for some reason something comes up and you can't make it, then you're going to get an email with a link to today's Blab. And because I've hit record at the right time, you're going to get all of it. You can also find the individual on Twitter and follow them on Twitter. So it's a cool way to connect with other like-minded people, because a lot of the people here today are fellow Udemy instructors. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. Now, over here to this side of the screen is that button that says Tell a Little Bird. If you could click on that right now, it's going to pop up and it says compose a tweet. And last time I called it Tweeter, it's Twitter, and post a tweet. And we certainly appreciate that, because that lets other people know that Phil, Matt, and myself are talking about Udemy course creation today. And if you want to give us props at any time during today's Blab, those little hands raise the roof, and you click on those, and that just tells us that you like what we're talking about. And hopefully that I'm not going to be too boring or screw things up. I've noticed that Blab has changed some stuff over here to the left-hand side where it says type something cool. Unless I wasn't paying attention last time, you can now filter out for mentions and questions. To ask a question, put in /Q and a space and then your question, and that'll highlight it so that we know that you have a question. And while I'm talking, hopefully Phil or Matt will jump in and answer your question. And we will stop at some point during the Blab and ask for general questions. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about two topics. We're going to talk about Udemy course creation, the steps of how you go through that. Not actually like, just we'll talk with Phil and let him explain his steps. Matt will talk about the steps he takes, and then I'll tell you like where I have all over the place with my course creation, and maybe that's why it takes me a while. So I'm hoping that these guys will chime in and maybe give us some tips on how to create courses quickly, because Matt's got a lot of courses and Phil has a lot of courses. So we'll do that. We'll talk about the tools that we use. So microphones, what microphone I'm using, what Matt's using, what Phil's using, things like Camtasia, other applications that are out there for screen sharing. What are we using? How do we create graphics and things like that? So we'll have a discussion on that. And then we'll open it up to general questions. And then this hot seat over here, or the seat that's open, I'm going to lock it for now just to avoid any distractions. But once we're done, if you're comfortable with coming on live camera and joining us, then you can certainly do that and ask your questions right on camera. So let's go ahead and get started. Phil, I'm going to let you talk first rather than me talking first. So what I'm going to ask is if you can just describe like the typical process that you go through when you're creating your courses. And I'm going to mute myself because typically if I don't have it on mute, then you hear background noise. So go ahead and take it away.
Okay, cool. So I guess from the very beginning, I think it's different. It's changed a lot. So when I started teaching courses, it was really confusing to know what course should I teach? Is the time I spend to teach this course going to be worth it? And I hear that from a lot of instructors. And if you've listened to me talk about this before, you've probably heard that my advice for new instructors is to just teach a course that you love. If you're trying to think of a topic to teach, and this is your very first course, just teach something that you love, because it'll just make the entire process more fun. If you're trying to teach a class and if you're trying to pick a topic that's just going to make money, or you're looking too deep into, does this have a target market, a target audience big enough, then it's going to be hard to get through the entire process of teaching the course. And your first course, it's not going to be that great in terms of quality, pedagogy. it takes a while to learn how to teach an online course well. And so my first piece of advice with my process is when I'm picking a course, I try to just teach something that I love.
He froze again.
Become these sort of like all-encompassing courses. Before I was, for example, I have a class on doing motion graphics in After Effects. It's a video editing type platform where you can do animations. Before I was teaching courses on, I had one for the entire After Effects program, and then I had specific courses on how to create video bumpers with After Effects, and then how do I create lower third titles with After Effects? How do I create fun shapes with After Effects? But lately I found that segmenting the different courses, while they still make money, it's not as good as putting together an all-encompassing course on one main topic. And so I have my most popular courses right now are a photography masterclass where I talk about everything related to photography, from taking photos, how to use a camera, editing, how to make money with photography. And that class does really well. And so when you're picking a class, when starting out, try to be as broad as possible in the sense that you want to teach like the entire subject to a person, and not segment your audience until later on. And then after I pick a outline with all the different lessons, I'll bullet point each lesson. I used to script some of my lessons. I don't script anymore. Sometimes it works for people, sometimes it doesn't. And then one way that I've just become more efficient at creating classes is that I've just set up my studio or my office at my house to be ready for me to shoot. So I have a light stand set up right behind my computer. I have my computer with my webcam. I've got my mic plugged in. And so whenever I want to just come in and film something, whether it's a Udemy class or just a tutorial that I take me anywhere between 3 to 4 days to shoot an entire 2 to 3 hour course, sometimes longer. Some of my classes I'm going out in the world and shooting on set, or not on set, but on location places. A lot of my classes I'm just teaching in my office right here, so it's pretty simple to just shoot my lessons and go from there. And then it'll take about a week to edit my course and create all the other materials. And I think my main advice is just try to make it easy on yourself, like setting up your home office or somewhere where you can just kind of pop in and film when you get the inspiration to, because I know sometimes it's hard to put everything up, get your camera out and do all of it. And if it's all ready to go, it'll just make it a lot easier. So I've talked a lot, so I want to pass it over to Matt, and then we can kind of go back and forth on other things.
Yeah, that's fine. And hey, for some reason it's showing that you have poor internet signal, which I don't get it sometimes, because you probably have pretty fast internet, but your video is gone right now and it shows audio only. I'm not sure if you can see that on your end.
No, but let me try switching or something.
It just has a photo of you with like the circle pulsing.
Yeah. Okay, so, I'll try to.
Yeah, we got you. So Matt, go ahead and chime in on what you typically do while you're creating a course.
So when I first started creating a course, my first course ever 2 years ago was how to make money online selling on eBay. And I was very shy, as someone else pointed out. And I wrote a script for every lecture. It took me a month to write the lecture, film everything, edit everything, and list it on Udemy. And I think this experience was great because of a few things. Writing a script for me gets all of my ideas down on paper. It allows me to organize my thoughts and make sure I'm not missing anything, and make sure I'm not repeating myself and having full thought. So I would take the extra time to either write a script or write notes down while you're recording your audio and then later you can go and edit your audio and do a PowerPoint presentation or a screencast. So, man, I lost my train of thought. So we could talk about a number of things too, like number one, how to choose your topic would be, you got to live the life of whatever you're teaching. You have to know a lot about what you're teaching and truly add value to your students' experience. For me, how-to courses and having a step-by-step guide, those courses do the best for me. It makes me the most money, and the students find it very beneficial for me to do that. And depending on the topic, Udemy comes out with every quarter of a list of hot topics, which means students are searching for a topic on Udemy, and the search results compared to the number of enrollments, there's a discrepancy there. So not enough people are enrolling in the courses that they're searching for. So that's why Udemy is a hot topics list. And if you know any of those subjects on that list, then great, do that and do it the best as you can. As if time goes by, I think everybody would agree, your courses get better the more you create your courses. So, I mean, I guess we can move it on to Dennis with what he has to say. It's like a broad topic, so I don't know. I'd have a better time answering people's specific questions about course creation.
Yeah, I agree, and we'll do that here after we talk about tools. We'll open it up to general discussion. Before I start, I want to just give some reminders out, and then I'll go over just kind of what I do, because it's different for every instructor. Everybody's got a different way that they do stuff. So welcome again for those of you who are just joining us. We've got a lot of people who are viewing us live. We've got 55 people watching right now, so it's kind of like a small concert, and we're rock stars now. Tell a little bird. Let people know. Click that button there to the left-hand side. I'm doing it right now. It'll pop up and allow you to compose a tweet on Twitter and send it out and let people know about this event. Remember that if for some reason you have to go early, because these tend to go on for a while, you can always get the replay and watch it later. Up above are all the people attending. If you want to connect with those individuals and follow somebody like Matt, Phil, or myself, because I'm doing these blabs, and Matt's been doing this with me. This is our second week, and we're lucky to have Phil join us this week. And it'll let you know right away when this stuff is going on. And you can get notifications. Hold on just a second here. Oh, I was wondering why there was noise outside and we're having a storm. And I was like, wow, it's pouring out there. It doesn't rain a lot in Idaho, so I'm not used to that noise in my window. So distraction for me. And back to this up above. Follow these individuals. Follow them on Twitter. Let them know like that, hey, you want to connect with them. The other thing that I wanted to say is over here when you're doing your comments or whatever, /Q, the letter Q, a space, and then your question. We'll highlight it so we know you have a question. Otherwise, if you ask a question, it's hard for us unless we scan everything to see that, because I can click on questions and filter out so we can go through and look at those and make sure that we get the questions answered. So now that we've covered that, let's just move on, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I do course creation. I have 5 courses on Udemy, and I always typically say that I have a problem with procrastination because I have a lot of other stuff that I'm doing, including these websites that I've created to help Udemy instructors promote their course. But I'm working on a couple of courses right now. I was recording earlier today. I really have to force myself to sit down and focus and turn off all the other distractions like Facebook, like the people that I live with, and just say, leave me alone. I'm recording. I'm not a mean person. I just got to get this done. Okay. So typically what happens is I come up with a course idea and I take Google Docs and I jot down ideas for future Udemy courses. And then I pick from that to say, okay, this is a hot topic right now, so I think I'm going to do this one first. I don't usually write down the lecture names and stuff like that on a piece of paper or something like that. What I do is I go into the Udemy dashboard for course creation. And if you're not familiar with it, it allows you to type the names of the lectures and drag and drop things around into sections so that you start creating these different sections for your course. And then once I do that, then I say, okay, I'm going to take this group of lectures and record the next lectures and so forth. There are people like Dave Espino who write down on paper, the traditional way, their course information. If you like digital like me, you can use tools that are out there for that. Like Wunderlist is what I use. It's an application and a tool on the internet that you can do all of your to-dos for the day. So it pops up and reminds you, hey, you've got to do this today. So use tools and things like that to help you with your course creation. And then I just start recording, and then I start adding the other elements. Once I'm done with getting all of the video in, I add the quizzes and what I call lecture notes, things like that. If I talk about a link to a website, then I make sure that I give the link to the website, and I make sure that I go through and type in all of those descriptions for each lecture, because a lot of people leave that out, but it really adds a lot of value to people who are taking your course. So that's kind of what I do as far as course creation. The guys have told you what they do. What we'll do next is we'll jump through. It looks like Phil is audio only again. So what we'll do is we'll go to Matt and we'll just discuss some of the tools that we talk about, or excuse me, the tools that we use, talk about some of those tools and the microphones, and then we'll just do some questions.
So for my courses right now, I use the Blue Yeti microphone. This is what it looks like. It plugs right into your computer. How's the audio right now, actually? And it plugs right into your computer through the USB port. And for editing software, I use Camtasia Studio 8. And being a Udemy instructor, actually, they give you 50% off discount for that software. And if you want to go the route of the talking head, which I did, and I don't know if I executed that well, so I'm going to go back to the route of PowerPoints and screencasts. But if you want to go the talking head route and you think you can execute better than I can and emulate other successful instructors, then you can get a green screen just off of eBay, get the green screen stand. All it costs is like $35. It's a very low cost. And Dennis, what was the webcam you gave away last week? The Logitech
C920, or yeah, the 920.
That was the webcam that I used. Perfect. Thank you. That was the webcam that I used. And you can edit that very easily in the Camtasia Studio 8. For further explanation, you can just literally Google or YouTube like how to edit out a green screen. So that was my experience and my tools that I used. Just using Google Drive and the Google Slides, you can make at least good enough PowerPoints. I'm not too great at making PowerPoints. I just focus on the audio quality, which is the Blue Yeti microphone, the editing software, which is Camtasia Studio 8, and I just give the student the best value and the best information that I can give, because I think that ultimately that's what they care about the most.
I had my cell phone.
Can you see me now?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can see if.
All right, cool. Cool. Well, you want me to talk about what I use?
Yeah, including your desk that you can stand up and create courses.
Yeah, my desk is pretty cool. I'm sitting down right now, but it's this sit-stand desk that I can rotate. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel if people want to check it out. Everything of mine is under the brand name Video School Online. So I'll type in my YouTube channel if you want to check it out and just search for desk. But that makes it easy because I think standing while I'm recording, it just gives me a little bit more energy. Heard that from Pat Flynn. He loves doing that too when he's podcasting. And so I do that when I'm recording. But I use a lot of the same webcam when I'm in a pinch and I don't want to set up my Canon 7D for my courses. I'll just use my webcam. And this is like a pretty nice DSLR camera, but for those of you who want to get nicer quality video than your webcam, you can get really any sort of DSLR camera. I know the Canon T5i is like a $500 or $600 camera that shoots really well. I have a little 50 millimeter lens. This is like $100 if you search on Amazon for Canon 50 millimeter. That's the one I have, and it's super nice. And then for my audio, I have the Blue Snowball. So it's the kid brother of the Blue Yeti, but it sounds pretty good. And I use that for most of my screen recording classes. And so that's nice when I'm screen recording. But when I'm shooting a talking head video, which a lot of my classes include talking head videos, I'll be standing in the middle of the room and I won't be able to be sitting right in front of my Blue Snowball microphone. So I use a lapel microphone. So I'll show you that one. So this is a Shure microphone. I'm going to type it into or give a link in the comment box, but it's Shure, SHURE lapel, and it's the Shure 185. And this, you would have to use another device to record your audio. This doesn't plug right into the computer. So that's one thing that the Blue Snowball and the Blue Yeti are great, because you can plug it straight into the computer. And then for lighting, I'm just going to also comment a couple links. I have the cheapest but the best lighting setup, and I have a film background, so I knew a little bit about lighting coming into teaching online courses. And even in the film world, one of the lights that we like using the most are these paper lantern lights. And I'll just put in the link. So those are the lanterns. And as you can see, it costs like $10 or less on Amazon for a pack of 10 or so. And then you just get these little pendant light kits for like $5 from IKEA or wherever. And it just provides really soft, natural looking light. And I actually don't have them on right now, but I just set up two of them, one on either side of my camera. And I put it on a little bar, like a backdrop bar, kind of what Matt was talking about with the green screen. You can get a backdrop bar. Again, it's like $25 on Amazon. And in total, I have a really nice lighting setup for like $50. And that's what I use. I have professional lighting as a filmmaker. I have a professional kit, but it just takes too much time to set up every time. And so I just have these nice paper lanterns that you can get. You can even get the paper lanterns from IKEA as well. And so that's kind of the equipment that I use. I use ScreenFlow on my Mac to record my screen. And if I want to do any more advanced editing, I'll use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe After Effects to do motion graphics like titles or lower thirds or like course intro graphics and stuff like that.
Awesome. I'm going to Seattle next week, so maybe I'll have to stop in at IKEA and pick some of those up.
Yeah.
I have a lamp right there. You can see it. I bought it at a thrift store, and I've got an LED bulb in there. And
nice.
It works, but for some reason the coloring looks off today for some reason. But that's
and so
go ahead.
Oh, just a quick tip about that. When you're getting these paper lanterns, and if you're shooting during the day and you have a window light coming from the window, you want to make sure that you get the cool blue light fluorescent bulbs. So you probably know that you had your old light bulbs that were like incandescent bulbs that were kind of like warmer, which is what you're using right now. It looks like, Dennis, it's got this warm light, but that actually contrasts with the light that's coming in from your window. And so you want to make sure that you get the light bulb that matches the light coming from the window, which is like between, this is very technical, but I hope you guys appreciate it, which is the light bulbs between 5,000 and 6,000 Kelvin, which is the light temperature. So go to Home Depot, get your fluorescent bulbs that are between 5,000 and 6,000 Kelvin, and it will match the light coming in from the outside. So you don't have these contrasting lights, and so it won't be too warm, it won't be too cool, it'll just look more natural.
Phil, how's my lighting?
It's pretty yellow.
I can't do anything about it.
But it also depends on your camera settings. So it's not just the lights. You can set your camera to read the light a certain way. So the computer's probably just doing it automatically, and it's not working.
No, it's not.
Yeah, the lighting here, like right now, I've got this light on. It was sunny, and now we've got like this huge thunderstorm outside, and it's pouring. So it went from blue skies to cloudy skies within like the last 15 minutes. So, all right. So we've talked about lighting and microphones, and I guess I can talk a little bit about like the microphone. A lot of instructors use this microphone here from Samsung, and it's the Meteor mic. And I bought this at Best Buy for about $70. Excuse me. It works all right. I also use a Logitech headphone that I've been using during blabs. And this is a wireless headset once you do that. And it's about $60 or $50 also at Best Buy, but you can go to Amazon.com. It's Logitech. And it works actually really well. It actually filters out a lot of the side noise and just catches my voice, where this microphone here, if there's other stuff going on, it'll pick it up. And so that's one of the reasons why I use this sometimes on my courses. As far as like editing, I use Camtasia, and I've got a MacBook Pro, so I use iMovie, and I use QuickTime sometimes for screen captures. And also, if you're using Chrome, there's a plugin for Chrome, and I'm trying to find it here right now. It's called Screencastify, and it actually lets you record your screencast. It lets you add your web camera to it. It also lets you select your audio, your microphone, all kinds of stuff, and it's actually pretty good. Yeah, Screencastify. What it does is it puts your recordings onto Google Drive, and then from Google Drive, you can upload those to YouTube and then download those as an MP4 file from YouTube so that you can upload them to Udemy. So it's just, depending on how you want to do things. I use Camtasia mostly. And remember, with Camtasia, you can let Udemy know that you'd like a coupon, and they'll point you to a website that you put in your information, and they'll send you a coupon to get, I think, 50% off of Camtasia Studio and Camtasia for Mac. It's, if you have a Mac, you don't get all of the stuff that you get with a PC version. It's kind of frustrating. I don't know why they do that. So I jump around, like just whatever works best for me. I don't know, like you guys use the same stuff. I think, Matt, you use Camtasia Studio.
Yeah, I use Camtasia Studio 8.
And Phil?
Yeah, I use ScreenFlow for that, most of my screen recording, but I'll also use QuickTime just in a pinch if I need to do a quick screen recording or just audio recording. You can do both from QuickTime. Yeah. I don't think you need the Pro version. I don't know. Maybe you do. But yeah,
I don't know. I see. I don't use ScreenFlow. I had used Camtasia when I came over from Mac, and I'm still learning things about the Mac, that kind of little quirky things that drive me nuts sometimes, because I've been on a PC for a long time. So why don't we go ahead and open it up for general discussion and just let people ask questions? And before we do that, let's look at the questions that we've had so far and see if we've answered all of those. Somebody had asked if they have a question. They want to create a course in Portuguese and English, courses in Portuguese and English. I need 2 accounts in Udemy. And I said, no, I don't think so. I don't think it matters that you're doing 2 different languages. You just create the course.
Yeah, I actually have someone who is translating one of my courses into French right now, and I'm just going to put it on my profile. I think it just makes it look good when you have more students, when people go to your profile. And so I don't know why you would segment it. Yeah.
So let's see. The next one here, I understand the importance of self-promotion, but is there any organic benefit to being or just being on Udemy?
Yes.
All kinds of benefits, because they're the largest as far as online education. So as far as traffic to the website, what do they rank? Did we talk about that, Matt? Do you know, Phil? Like maybe like what?
Globally, they're ranked about 600th. So that's
I'm looking up the Alexa rank. It's 6,
good,
7.
Good.
And I mean your own promotions. They honestly, you can use them to leverage getting more Udemy organic sales, because Udemy keeps track of the minutes that are viewed per month, the new students that you enroll, the most recent reviews that you get, and when you ask when you ask successful instructors, like Phil, I'm sure his organic sales are more than his own promotional sales. I know that mine used to be. Now mine are kind of even. Jerry Banfield, I know he is about 65% of his $30,000 that he made last month was from Udemy organic sales. So for me, I mean, I think that number is great enough to answer your question.
Great. So let's see. Anyone have a self-hosting course, or are only using Udemy? I only use Udemy. I've thought about using Fedora.
I've wanted to set up Fedora. I actually did in the past. At one point, I just put all my courses using Fedora, use fedora.com, and I put it on my website. I did a big blast to my email list. At the time was like a couple thousand people. And what was cool about Fedora was that I was able to create a subscription. So I was able to offer all of my classes for like a monthly price.
Here we go again.
Get a bunch of sales, but it didn't work out. And so I probably made there were people coming to my Fedora site from my website, but it just wasn't worth it enough at that time to maintain it. I'm interested in doing it again, because while Udemy is the best place to teach on online classes, and it's growing like crazy right now, and it will for the next few years, I believe, and hopefully further, I always want to make sure that that I have some sort of control over my income, and especially now that I'm doing this full time. This is what I do. 75% of my time, I don't have a full-time job, so I depend on this income to survive. I have to make sure that I'm going to make money next month. And there's no suggestion that Udemy is slowing down at all. And hopefully by the time they either plateau or if they start shrinking, we'll all know. And so I'm not worried about that at all. But once that time does come, which assuming I'm 25 years old, next 30 or 40 years, I just want to make sure that I'm safe. And so I kind of went on a tangent, but I think it is important to have different streams of income. And so Udemy for me is my biggest, but I think it's important to also build streams in other places as well.
Phil, you don't have a full-time job? I thought you had a full-time job too.
I left in May. Well, I was living up in Berkeley, and while my wife was getting her master's, and I was working at the school there doing video production. And then, I mean, my income on Udemy and online has just passed my full-time income. And so I just said, when we moved back down to SoCal, I just said it's time. If I focus on this full time, I'm sure that it will be better for me. And over the past few months, I've been able to post a few more courses and really get into like building my own online brand. I'm incorporating my business, so taking it to like the next level.
How many courses do you have right now on Udemy?
I just published my 40th.
Wow, congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Dave has 30, and he put the number 30 behind him on the last blab. You need to put that big 4-0 there. And your income is actually pretty incredible too, because you're talking about like leaving your job. And I was kind of promoting this. I know that you had posted your milestone in the studio that you were over 13,000 last month alone. That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty nuts, and it's been a lot of work. Part of it has been that I've been on the platform for so long, since October 2012. And I think it's been because I've been on so long and I've just consistently put out new courses almost every month or every other month, that I've just been able to grow. And so for people who are like just starting out, I think I see a lot of comments in the studios, like people either posting, hey, I made $5,000 in my first month, or hey, I made $5 in my first month, or, oh, I'm not making any money in my first month. And I think for all of those people, it is a slow process. And for me, I made $60 in my first month, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And so it's just grown. And for everyone who's like just starting out, for some people, it's going to be quick win figures a month soon, but for most people, it's going to take a ton of work.
It does. I mean, with anything, it takes work. I know that you've been on the platform for a while, and the benefits of having 40 courses is that you get to cross promote to students of, your other courses. So you have the benefit of that. And then, you know what you're doing, you know what works. And a lot of people give up before they find out what works and like throw in, like, just say, this is not working for me. I mean, I'll admit I'm coming up on 70 something dollars shy of 6,000, and I've been on the platform since July of last year. Now I have other stuff that I'm doing and some other things that I'm dealing with in my life, but I know that I need to get more courses out because I've only got 5 total, and my best month with 5 total was 1,200. So if I double the amount of courses, then hypothetically that best month of 1,200 should be even more. It's going to more than double because I have other courses that I can promote to. So Diego is asking what percentage of your sales, and I don't know if I think this is just directed at everyone, is organic versus your promotion. I think mine is like about an 80-20 split. I'd have to look, but what do you think, Matt, yours?
So a few months ago, mine was always 50-50. I promote a lot and I keep up with Udemy. I mean, I don't know how it's 50-50. I would wish that my Udemy organic sales are more than my promotion, but that's just not the way it is.
Yeah.
Phil?
Yeah, I think for me, it's about, on a good month, my promotions will be about 40%. The thing is, I think I'd rather have, or not rather, I love getting a lot of promote organic sales from Udemy. So this month, I'm about at 6,000 so far, and 1,000 has been from my promotion. And so maybe it's like 20 to 30% is my own promotion. And while it's great to have the Udemy promote or organically sell my classes, I also like having that control of knowing, like, okay, if I put this amount of work or do this amount of promotional announcements, that I'll make a certain amount of money. And so with Udemy, I feel like for me, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. For myself, I feel like now I'm at the point where if I launch a new course, I could kind of expect to make about $2,000 from that course, like within the first week or two.
Somebody was asking, I was just replying here, with promotion, is the revenue higher, isn't it? I think what they're asking, if you self-promote, if your revenue is higher. So if that's your question, yeah, you get 97% and Udemy only takes 3%. So you're better off doing your own promotions. Yeah. Otherwise, if Udemy's doing it and it's organic, they're splitting it with you, which is okay. I'm fine with that, because remember, they've got all of the traffic coming to their website, and they have to pay for the platform. So they have employees in San Francisco. They have web servers that are expensive to run, just like Facebook. Facebook, you know, it's free. They started running advertisements and everybody was freaking out. And it's like, how do you expect them to continue to do business if they're not bringing in income? And so Udemy is the same. If they're doing the work, the legwork, then they're going to take more of the pie. Same thing with affiliate marketers too. I do affiliate marketing and I have access to people that not everyone has access to. And so if I'm bringing the sale to Udemy, I'm going to get a cut of that. Udemy is going to get a cut, and then the instructor. So there's all different ways. I've got a document that I've been posting into the comments that has some great resources on the Udemy website, including the instructor revenue share. So take a look at that. It will show you exactly in all scenarios what your take of the pie is going to be if that sale comes to you from an affiliate, yourself, or Udemy organic.
I feel like some of the new questions are directed towards like how to promote. Which direction do you want to go in, like to answer these kind of questions, or should we just relay them to our blab last week? Do you want to answer them now? I just don't. As the moderator, Dennis, I would.
Yeah, I know. We've got a lot of questions. I've been looking at that, so it's difficult to really go through and go one by one and answer them. Definitely, like if you have a few questions, you're more than welcome to jump into that open seat. That's the beauty of Blab, is being able to come in and show your face and talk to us and ask your question, because there's just so many people. There's 53 people viewing this right now, and that's the most that I've had on a Blab. That's quite a few people. That's more than the towns in Idaho, again, we say.
and if anyone has learned some valuable information, please leave myself and the other instructors here, give us some props.
We've got somebody coming on with us here. I'm going to ask him how to pronounce his name. Hopefully he'll be able to. Sometimes
I think it's Leonidas.
It's still thinking.
Oh,
okay.
We lost him.
So we'll bring Janet.
Bring Janet in?
Yeah, I think Janet's been with us before.
I have been with you before. Hey, hang on. I'm trying to get the thing balanced here. All right. So the last time I was with you, I didn't even have a course. I barely heard, well, I knew of Udemy, never really visited it much. Turns out I took a course in it once for Startup Weekend as a facilitator. And I was like, oh, I know this platform. So now I'm officially launched. I actually have a course that I had in another platform.
Wow.
It's up and running. I conned friends into loaning me equipment and doing my production of my little welcome video. A couple of technical questions, and obviously you're not looking at my stuff, so you don't know. But I was just using Camtasia to do, screen capture of my PowerPoint deck. And I got feedback that the quality, and I'm like, really? I'm using Camtasia. So what? Am I missing something really important about what I selected when I started recording, or what? It's a stumper.
What do you guys want to answer that there? Because I'm sorry, I was listening, but I was looking at questions over here too.
So the question is, I just did a traditional Camtasia capture of a PowerPoint presentation, and they really thought my video wasn't up to snuff. Well,
They always have issues with that kind of stuff. I have stuff that gets approved and then I do it the same way the next time. And because you've got different people who are reviewing these courses. And one of the things that I was telling Matt is, and I need to send Lindsay a message on this. When I worked in a call center and I was a supervisor and we had to listen to our agents' calls and give them coaching, we did calibration calls. So all of the supervisors sat in and listened to the same call. So we were on the same page. There are people who review our courses need to look at a course and review it together so they're all on the same page. So when one reviewer looks at the course, they all approve it the same way, because I've had somebody like comment on the way that I say the letter S, and I'm like, that's being nitpicky. That really, it's like, come on. It's like, oh,
yeah, I know.
It
seems like there's got to be like some sort of standard with the technical aspects of it. And it's hard because there's a line whether you cross it and it's like, we're going to look at the pedagogy. We're going to look how you talk. We are going to look at how you look like, and even like the way you design your course. That's one thing I'm wondering for you, Janet, or for how they do it now is like, are they looking at, does your PowerPoint look well designed? Is it modern, or does it look not like what they want? And so I don't know if they're really looking at that side of it anymore. But yeah, I think it's hard because I know they want to continue to try to get all the classes to be super high quality, which is a good thing because as instructors, we want our own classes to be high quality. But on the other hand, as long as we meet the technical standards, it seems like we should just be able to post our classes and promote them ourselves.
Right? Sales will indicate whether you've got a good class or not.
Exactly.
Was Udemy specific on the problem that they found with your PowerPoints, or? They
kind of, I'd have to go back and actually read their language. They gave me some probably cut and paste, but very specific, whatever. But they were kind of implying that, you know, that it was maybe a little fuzzy, which it was not. So I don't know.
Okay.
And well, in my experience, I've never had a course approved its first time. So I mean, I wouldn't let that get you down at all. Usually, you just fix up Udemy's mistakes. I mean, what Udemy says is your mistakes. And I remember the first time I created a course and wanted it to be approved, I was so nervous to see, because I wasn't sure if my course was good enough quality-wise for Udemy. And, you know, obviously it said it requires modifications. And, I mean, you just do the modifications and then they'll most likely accept it. I mean, they do that up to this day.
Right.
So no reason to be nervous about it or anything.
There were only 3 things that were like, the required changes. And that the 5 or 6 of them, I almost felt like he needed to comment, just to comment. Because when I came back and I'm like, is this a deal breaker? And he was like, no, it's fine. It's, maybe next time you can do better. So I didn't really care. And honestly, what I'm doing with my courses, I've been delivering webinars for a few years. So I'm taking webinar content and repurposing it as courses. Glad to hear those comments about I thought I was going to take all of these and make the super course. And obviously from the sound of it, that's not the way to go. Make a series of courses. I intend to predominantly do these for a B2B audience on my own platform. However, I think that there could be a lot of one-off sales, and I just needed a platform that had a broader audience, which is why I'm interested in Udemy. Well, let me ask you another question, because now that I've done the first one, and I have a whole series of other ones in this B2B series, but now I'm like, but I could do one on, I don't know, something crazy. So if you build a reputation as a course developer in whatever your niche is, you're a tech person, and suddenly you want to do a course in cake decorating, because that's your other hobby, you know all about that. Is that something that you feel would make your regular students go, what the what? Or, who cares? We're all multifaceted people. What would you do?
Well, I can answer that one because I started teaching classes on just video editing and that kind of like creative video and photography. But then I just wanted to teach some fun classes. So I have a class on brewing beer, adopting a cat, how baseball works. And so I've thought that same thing. I've thought, I wonder if my students are getting annoyed that because I do send out a promotional announcement about I have this class that most of you are not interested in it at all, but I've never got any negative feedback about it. And so the one thing is with Udemy, you could segment your announcements, so you can just send specific promotional announcements to like a certain type of audience if you want, and then you could build up your cake making audience over here and segment those announcements over there. But yeah, I've never had any sort of negative feedback. And again, it just kind of adds more students who might
courses
end up purchasing my other.
Phil, I don't know if you don't have to answer this question at all. Because I would like to make courses about, like how to watch football and array of courses kind of like that. Was it worth it that you made those courses? Would you say, or maybe not?
So okay, let me look at the numbers so I can tell you financially, was it worth it? Okay, so here's the thing. I made the cat adoption course because
it's a great.
I got a cat.
It's a great course.
Yeah, I got a cat. I thought I was doing a ton of research on my own to figure out like all the stuff that I need to take care of with this cat. Then I also thought, okay, how can I get this cat to pay for itself?
That's the eternal question. We all want to know.
Live with me, you're going to pay for it.
The answer is 42. Yeah.
So, it's not going to clean itself. So.
But that course does pay for its food and its litter. I've made about $200 since I posted it probably like 2 years ago. And I don't think I spend that much more on cat food and cat litter. She's a pretty simple cat.
Okay.
And so yeah, like $200 for the cat course.
What? $200?
Revenue.
Not that much money.
I thought somebody had to pay $200. Cats are free. Yeah, no,
that's like total revenue. And actually, I'm thinking about just making these courses free because it'd do better as a public service to everyone who wants to adopt cats or learn about baseball, rather than me trying to like penny pinch people and make $100 a year from it.
That's a cool idea.
Matt, I think like a football class might do better than the baseball class, especially if you could add in some like fantasy football stuff. But it was just fun for me to create.
I think the fantasy football one would be an awesome class for me to create. Like have even more fun creating that course. Bye, Janet. What happened? What happened to her? I don't know.
Yeah. People like will pay money to play fantasy football, and they want to make money to play fantasy football, so they might be willing to pay money to learn how to play. So.
How long are your baseball courses and stuff like that? Like, is it?
Well, I just have the one baseball course. It's probably like a couple hours.
Okay.
I also, so this is another thing though. I put some of my content from my baseball course on YouTube videos, and one of my baseball courses makes $5 to $10 a month on YouTube because it's one of my most popular videos. So,
yeah, that's smart. Just placing your existing content on other additional channels, you got to do that, I think.
Yeah. I it's like that's one of the areas that I'm lacking in is some of those other websites that are out there like Skillshare, because you just take what you have made already and just move it over there. Skillfeed was doing okay for me in the beginning, and then now look where they've gone. So
yeah.
So we've got some other questions over here. One of them I kind of answered while we had Janet on board with us. How long do you take to produce a course? Well, me, it takes a couple of years. But Matt and Phil, it takes like maybe a day for them to do a course. Oh,
Yeah, it'll take me a week too.
No, it'll
Dennis.
take me like
I've never done a course in a day. I've done a course in 2 days. Sorry, Phil, you like dropped out, so I just
oh no, yeah. No, I think just like it takes me like 40 to 80 hours to put together a basic course, I would say.
Wow, with your editing and your video and all of that?
Yeah, so like I mean 40 to 80 hours, that's like 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer.
Somebody put out that course on making a course in 8 hours. I remember seeing that out there. And of course, like, you know, Bob Marks has one on creating a course in 5 days or whatever. And
yeah,
I guess if I had nothing else to do, maybe I could do a course in 5 days or something like that. I don't know. But Matt, you said about a week for you to do a course?
On average, my newest course, Personal Finance for Beginners, it took me about a week or 5 business days, whatever, however you want to look at it. And the quickest that it took me to do a course was 2 days. But I mean, I worked on the course specifically, I probably worked 15-hour days on both of that. I just wanted to see how quickly I could do a course. Plus, not all the lectures had visuals. Some of them were audio. So, because Udemy allows you to do 30% audio lectures. So that's kind of the quickest I've ever done. And that was my Udemy business one. I've since updated it because one of the quotes that I follow is if you're not embarrassed by your first version of your course, then you've released it too late. So that's kind of the model.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I need to work harder at that kind of stuff because I have a lot of ideas for courses. And Janet had a good idea. I had been doing webinars before, and I've got that material out there already. So why not repurpose it as a Udemy course? And it doesn't have to be something extensive because I have a WordPress course and I've got a lot of different lectures. I can put something else or put something out and expand on it later, much like Matt's done. Matt went through a couple of months ago and took his courses that he already had and redid a lot of stuff. And he got the green screen and just redid his courses. And Phil, do you do that? Do you go back and redo courses?
I will not really. I'll add lessons to them. Like, for example, sometimes in my After Effects courses, I'll put out like a free YouTube video that's related to the course content. So I'll just post the YouTube or the same video in the course. I have updated the promo videos for a lot of my courses, a lot of my best selling courses. And as soon as I updated the promo videos a few months ago, I saw a dramatic uptick in sales just because, yeah, like the first promo videos that I did like 2-3 years ago, they were just so bad. They were really long. And now Udemy has like their formula where they tell you in the first 10 seconds, say this, and the second 10 seconds say this. And I kind of just used that formula to update all my promo videos. So I would love to go back and update a lot of my courses. I mean, it's one of my best selling courses is my Teach Online course. And, but I released that at the end of 2013. And there's so much that I've learned since then that I really need to just spend a few weeks just going through and updating that course. Because I think it's important to kind of like a really good course. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think might be better to spend the time to make that the course on that topic on Udemy rather than try to just create a new course that's the same thing over and over.
Yeah. I've gone through and added new stuff to the courses that I have. I haven't really, and you know, if somebody tells me like there's a website that's down, that's part of the course, you know, I let them know that, hey, I'll watch it. And if the website doesn't come back up, then I'll just remove that lecture from the course because things change, you know, like social media. I've written my book on social media 4 times since I first put it out because things are always changing. And same thing with Udemy courses. If you're doing something that's on a topic that changes very quickly, then you need to get in there and update it, or else your course is going to become outdated very quick. And somebody else comes along with a course that is like yours, and it's fresh, you're going to miss out on that revenue. So you have to think about that.
And I think that also comes hand in hand with when you're first starting to create a course, pick a course that you think can be relevant for 3 to 5 years, and only use concepts that you think to your best ability would be relevant for that amount of time. So you don't have to go in and update your course every month, every 6 months. So at least on the onslaught, you know that you're not making lectures that here, all right, this information might change in 3 months. And when you have 14 courses like me, or I can't even fathom 40 courses like Phil, to go through and do the same thing to each and every one of your courses, that would consume so much time and effort. I don't know how you would necessarily even go about doing that. It's a huge project. So go in, try your best to your ability to make a course that's relevant for 3 to 5 years is how I try to put it.
That's good. That's good advice. I taught my first course on Final Cut Pro 7, which was discontinued about a year after it launched. So
that's not bad. Yeah. I mean, depending on how much revenue you've earned from that.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on the time you put in, I mean, was it bad? Depending, if you made like 7,000, it only took you like 2 weeks to do. I think that's a pretty good 2 weeks spent, right?
Yeah, totally. I think it did pay for itself.
Yeah. Hey guys, we've got somebody who wants to join us here, but before I do that, I want to cover a few questions here that I can answer real quickly. Is there a minimum of sales before Udemy pays you? No, they start paying you right away. My first month on Udemy, I made $14. And after that, how many days is it? It's got to be like, they've got a 30-day money back guarantee. So you've got to get past that. And then the following month. So let's say we are in September right now. So we should be seeing this the first part of November, right? Revenue.
Yeah, we'll get paid in November.
Yeah. So they give it time for any type of returns or anything like that. And there's no minimum amount. So if you made only $1 or something like that, they're going to pay you. They use PayPal. Let's see. Is there any tip or experience on how much additional content you should add? Articles, templates, and further stuff. I had replied to this. I believe it's at least 60% video that you have to have on your course. And then the rest can be things like PDFs and texts and stuff like that. I recommend that you blend it with other stuff like quizzes and PDFs. That's what I usually do instead of all video. You guys might do something different, but that's what my recommendations are. And if you are wanting to go into that open seat, just wait, hold on, instead of, somebody, I think it was Simone who wanted to jump in. You can jump in, but what I usually do is I wait until we're done talking and then let somebody in. That way we're not letting them just sit there. So anyway, back to that real quick. Like, what kind of stuff do you add in for additional content on your courses? Either one.
Oh, well, I most of my classes are video, but on top of actually just putting out your course content, I think a big thing now is trying to add like PDF guides or as much supplemental materials as possible. I know for me, for my courses, I'm teaching like After Effects, like how to do different animations and things like that. And so I'll try to include the project files and the assets that I use so that the students can follow along. And I think as much as possible, like adding little PDF guides or downloadable materials is a good idea.
I'm just typing a reply back to somebody about what if your content is dated. They teach a course on social media. I do social media. Is there an expectation that you'll amend or update? They don't really have an expectation or requirement, but it's in your best interest to keep that content up to date, or else your sales are going to suffer. Again, if you're doing social media and you're not keeping the content up to date, and another instructor is on their course, then the student is going to pick that course over yours. So it's in your best interest, I believe. Let's see.
Someone asked about getting people on your email lists.
Yeah.
So obviously Udemy does a lot to try to prevent us from taking a student and getting them on our list. You're not allowed to send people directly to your list. Throughout most of my courses, before a lot of these rules came about, I would, during the course, I would just say, hey, if anyone needs more information, visit my website. And I think that's totally still allowed. I'm pretty sure that you can just during your lessons just refer people to your website to get in touch with you or to read more about this topic. And then people would just find my list from there. Trying to think. And I think you still can put a little logo on the bottom third of your video. And so I have my Video School Online logo on the bottom. And so again, just trying to get people to recognize my brand and hopefully get on my website, because on my website, there's a big opt-in form where people can opt into my email list. But aside from that, I haven't really done anything else. And there's so many rules where it's hard to get people on your email list.
You can do the bonus lectures too, and I've talked about that before, and I've got a link to bonus lectures. I'm posting a link right now. Again, it's got Udemy course creation information, but also information on the bonus lecture. That's where you can put that kind of stuff in there that Phil's talking about to get people to go to your website. And he does an excellent job of branding his videos. So that's something that you have to think about if you're really going to release a lot of courses, is what is your brand, and branding your videos so that they all have that same look and feel. Rob Cubbin, he's got excellent branding too. He's got a little caricature or whatever, I'm going to mispronounce it, with his look and feel. And he's done a great job at that. It's all over his website, his books, everything he does has that same look and feel. So you've got to consider that if you're going long-term on Udemy.
So if we're talking about how to build an email list using Udemy, you can send an educational announcement and you could link to your own website to a blog post that you think is very relevant to the course and the students that you're teaching.
Yeah.
But you can't require them to enter in their email address. But what you can do is either on the sidebar or somewhere in the article, you can give them an incentive to join a free course on Udemy, and then you can collect the email instead. But the key is you can't require them you can't require them to give you an email, but you can still incentivize it. And I just ran a giveaway, and I think the most important thing that I learned from doing that, I gave a Blue Yeti microphone trying to get content creators to join my email list. And I think the most important thing to learn about that is, I know people want like an email list of 5,000 people, 50,000 people. You want quality emails over the quantity, because you can give away an iPad and get 50,000 emails if you give away an iPad, but it's not going to be focused enough to necessarily the niche that you're in and the video courses that you're selling. So even if you give away an iPad, even if you give away that iPad and get all those emails, you might get $5 in sales. You're not going to be getting the sales that you want, even though you have 50,000 emails. So it's kind of tough. You want to give them an incentive, like a free course, and then market to them later.
Yeah. Just like what we're doing with the Blab today. I mean, the Blab is here to give you good information. It's not here for marketing. I'm not really talking about my courses, Matt and Phil. We're not really like saying, hey, buy my course or whatever. I am putting out like a document that I've created that's got a lot of good information on these links, on the questions that you have about Udemy revenue, about how they pay, all of that kind of stuff. And that's got good information on that document, but also ways to contact me so that if you want to follow me on social media or on Udemy or Blab, I've got that information there for you. but it's not like it's in your face. And that's the same thing that Matt's talking about. You can send somebody to a really good blog post that you have that's relevant to your course and have those slide-ins from companies like SumoMe that make plugins for WordPress websites. And that's what I use for my website. Matt and I were talking before the blab about how he's changing his theme, and WordPress is one of the most popular platforms out there for blogging. It has great tools to promote your courses and also build your email list. So if something were to happen to Udemy, that you have a backup. And that's what I'm doing. That's what Matt's doing. And that's probably what Phil's doing, because he's got his website, videoschoolonline.com. And he's got a lot of great resources, great information. I mean, he's got like a lot of different information. This is a guy who did $13,000 or more last month. So you know that he's doing stuff the right way. So it's somebody that you want to follow and listen to his advice and what he's doing. And same thing with Matt. Matt's done over 50,000. And for me, I've got my background where I've written a book. Yeah, 50,000 a month is your goal, right?
I mean, I wish. I don't even know if anyone's done 50,000 in a month.
Probably Alan. No, Alan, maybe? I don't
know. Probably has.
I think a web developer course like Rob Percival, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see out there. But yeah, just to finish my thought is that, I was thinking about stuff that I've done on Udemy. If you follow people who have been successful and learn from them and listen to their advice, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything, because if you've got something that you think might work better, then by all means try that. But these are guys who have done stuff that has been working. And so that's why I have them here with me today, because I know that they'll get you the information that you need or the advice that you need to be successful on Udemy, if you're already there or if you're thinking about Udemy. So I had posted out there that if somebody wants to jump in on that open seat and you have a question that you want to ask, just be mindful that somebody else might want to jump in. So try to make it a quick question, like a drive-by question or something like that, really quick. So we're on, got about 15 minutes maybe. We'll let John on with us.
I don't know why this takes so long for this to come up on some of the different courses. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, my question is just basically, there's so many different things I'm sure each of you have on your list of things to teach and stuff. How do you prioritize, and have something move up to the list?
That's a good question. I think I would pick darts and throw it at the list.
I think when you get more experience, you'll learn what matters most. It's just experience and what you will accept and what you won't. And if I had to put a number to it, like 87% of the things that I do fail. And I think that the 13% that I do that is successful, I just find those and focus in on those and keep doing them. So, I mean, how long have you been a Udemy instructor?
I mean, I've signed on about a year or so ago. And then earlier this year is when I finally started creating, my first couple courses. I have 2 out there right now and stuff. And I've been kind of, to be honest, dedicating only so much time to that versus, the other 80% of what I do is just like freelance work and stuff. So it's been kind of finding the time and dedicating the effort to, and to be honest, part of it is that it's that thing where it's only generated so much results. So I've only decided to focus only so much on that. And meanwhile, I'm doing other things to kind of build up my audience and stuff. And so that's the other thing too, is I'm developing a new audience that really, I'm now starting to kind of get some sense of the things they're interested in. And so that's still so in other words, it's a lot of things in motion and stuff. And that's partially what makes it a tricky situation too, is because I'm, kind of getting a better gauge of the audience. I'm also seeing better what things that, might make sense for them versus what I have been doing in the past.
And in those 2 courses, how many students do you have in there just in total?
Less than a couple hundred, so not very big.
Okay, so right there for social proof, I would just, whether they're free or not, I would just get thousands of students in there,
Right.
just so people can. I mean, to this day, I still give away free courses because I want to get new leads in. And I mean, if there's 7 billion people in the world and I only have 50,000, then I'm still nothing in the world. So I still give away free courses. And I think Udemy takes note of that. They see the enrollments per month. They see the minutes viewed per month. They see their new reviews that get in per month. And even though they're free students, they're new leads that they'll get to know who I am. They'll watch my courses, and I won't be a stranger to them anymore. So they'll be more likely to give me $10 for when I do give them a promotional email. So that would be the first thing that I would focus on if I was you, just getting more free student courses.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely, my other partner, Sarah, and I, who we developed the one course and stuff, we've talked somewhat about that. And she's the one she's got actually a bulk of the students between the two of us and stuff. And the one thing that I struggle with about that very idea, though, about getting numbers of students is the idea that different times, are they the right students in the sense of like that will ultimately be the ones that I want to attract? Because like some people at different times just sign up and they never be on even like the first lesson and stuff. And so you see what I'm saying? Like kind of where when we're giving away, I definitely believe in giving things away and stuff. But, the thing I want to do, though, is make sure that the quality of students that's coming in versus the quantity is also there.
So, I mean, at least, sorry.
No, go ahead, Matt.
I just one quick point, and then you can jump in, Phil. I mean, at least for me, when I see a course either for free or on sale, I enroll in it, and I have every intention of watching it. And there are some courses that I've paid money for, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So I think that's just human nature in general. And if people aren't interested in your course, then they wouldn't enroll in it. But if they're interested, then they will enroll. And then, I mean, maybe never watch it. It's just human nature.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I have like a couple hundred, courses that I've signed up for and stuff, and I'm still working my way through them and stuff.
Exactly. Phil?
But Phil, you wanted to say something, though? Uh-oh, looks like he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, now you can.
Well, like on the first question about just how do I prioritize what I work on, and I, like most people, I was doing this just part-time after coming home from my full-time job, and it was hard to find the time to actually do the courses, but I did dedicate a lot of time to creating courses. I started to see the numbers grow, but then I kind of jumped off of course creation and just started building my website, writing blog articles. I tried a podcast at one time. I'm building up my YouTube channel. So it's hard to be like trying to juggle all of these things. But recently I've just realized that I need to focus on what's working. And while my YouTube channel is growing and my blog is getting more visitors, the thing that's working the most is just creating more and more courses. And so like for the past 2-3 months, I've just spent all of my time just creating new courses. And if I can, I'll try to add a blog post to my website. But instead of trying to focus on building this external brand right now, which I think it's happening a little organically at the same time, I'm just creating more and more courses.
Again? No.
So, yeah, I would just suggest like for anybody who's like trying to juggle between building courses and doing promotion and all this other stuff, just like create courses, just create more and more content.
Right. I know you focused on, doing the video courses and stuff, and then ultimately you got into building courses about building courses and stuff. But I mean, like what was it that kind of, I mean, was it just simply that you had some audience in building the video course, or like, was there anything else that kind of drove that being the thing, other than simply that was what was, available to you, I guess? Or
so sorry, can you repeat the question?
Well, I guess I was just going back to the original question of like, what was it that like, what, I'm trying to get into the mindset of, what was it that made you decide that was, what you wanted to teach, or that was your focus at that point and stuff? Was it simply you had done that before and like kind of just seemed to be a natural thing of that would be your focus, or,
With like the video editing courses and video related courses?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it started out just like video editing was what I know about, and how can I teach everything I know about video editing and video creation? And then I didn't have enough video editing knowledge to continue teaching video editing classes. So I thought, what else can I teach? So I taught photography courses, but I'm not the best photographer in the world. So I went and found a friend who can co-teach a photography course. And I found a friend who can teach a wedding photography course with me. And so I've started to do a lot of co-teaching classes just because I've run out of a lot of stuff that I can teach on my own. But I'm doing a 50-50 revenue share with, and so there will be a point when, I just can't teach anything else, but I found just new instructors to teach with. I think that's what I've been doing a lot lately.
All right. Thanks, guys. I actually have to jump on another blab that I'm starting.
Thank you, John.
Take care.
Cool.
Thanks, John. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Maybe we'll jump on your blab.
I'm trying to stay up with these questions. We got a lot of questions. Some of them are just not going to be able to get to, and some of them are questions that I don't feel comfortable answering because they deal with Udemy's policies and things like that. And that's why I'm referring to teach.udemy.com. And somebody had a question about Udemy courses, like requests. No, this wouldn't be the place to request like courses for Udemy, because we are Udemy instructors, but we don't work for the company. But I was looking for something on their website that would allow students to contact Udemy and let them know what kind of courses that they would like to see. And here I am on, general inquiries. Let's see. So if you go to support.udemy.com, under the green for students there should be ways that you can contact Udemy and let them know that you have a particular interest for them to have a course on their site. And then what they do is they send out these lists of hot courses or hot topics and things like that to let instructors know that people are requesting. Now, if it's just like one person asking for a course on something, I doubt that you're really going to see somebody create that course. But if they've got hundreds of people asking for courses on, something that's hot or a topic, then yeah, you'll see instructors creating those courses, hopefully. We can have like a moment of silence.
Are we still taking questions, or?
Yeah, let's see. We are on. It's at 3:29 right now. We've got about 50 people that are watching us right now. I've been watching that number to see if it drops. Because
don't you have something better to do with your lives? Go create courses.
Yeah, go out there and create those courses. I have a friend coming over later for dinner, and so I'm thinking about that too. And I'm enjoying my Samuel Adams Summer Ale. This is my second of 2 beers. The other one was a Sierra Nevada. Dave says 50 is an awesome number. I've got 3 more years. If you're talking about age, I've got 3 more years, and I'm just hoping it goes by really slow, because sometimes I do feel like I'm that age. And Dave, thanks for joining us. Hey, Dave, you got any blabs coming up that you can post them over there in the comments there and let people know? Because Dave's got some blabs that he does, and he's got a lot of great information. I just
blabbed with Dave.
What's that?
Yeah, I just blabbed with Dave on Monday.
Good. I know. I got to watch that. And I'm thinking about doing like a Udemy After Dark or something like that late at night, because we have to remember we're here in the US and we've got people watching us probably. Why don't you go ahead and type in, oh, not the age. Okay, Robert. So why don't you go ahead and type in where you're located at? I'm here near Boise in a town called Caldwell, Idaho, and just type in where you're at. But anyway, so that Blab after, or not Blab after dark, Udemy after dark, late at night, catch people from all over the world, because while we're going to sleep here in the US, there are Udemy instructors in all parts of the world that are waking up. And I like doing this stuff. I know that Dave loves doing this stuff too. See, it's 9:30 on Friday in New Zealand. It's already another day. And we've got Brazil and we've got Australia. We got San Francisco, where Udemy is headquartered, and Blab is also headquartered there. So Portugal, Matt's in Boston.
I am in Boston, the greatest city in the world. Is
You really say that with a lot of enthusiasm. I would say my favorite city is Seattle, and I'm going there next week. I don't live there anymore because I would be stuck in traffic. Morocco and Europe, I have ties to Europe. My mom is Swiss, and I was born in California. So you want to travel?
Wow,
everybody
fine. We have the greatest ballpark in the world. Fenway Park.
Yeah, the best football team in the world, right?
Of this last decade. They hate us because they ain't us.
I'm a Seahawks fan, and you know that.
I grew up in LA too late to have like a real team.
Yeah.
I'm kind of adopted the 49ers, but not.
But you're more into baseball, right?
Really huge Angels fan.
Yeah. So
They're
you know
not doing
what?
well.
Like, while we're talking about that, and people are talking about travel, I mean, those are some great things to start thinking about as far as courses that you would like to create for Udemy. I have a whole list of courses that I want to create. And again, earlier I was talking about, I keep those in a Google Doc. And then, you talked about, somebody asked how you prioritize that stuff. Well, then I start looking at that, and also looking at what Udemy sees as being a hot topic. And Matt teaches an excellent course on Udemy. And some of the things that he talks about is going to Kindle, going to Amazon.com, see what people are writing about on Kindle. Those are the topics that are hot on Kindle, and those are going to be the topics that are hot on Udemy.
And I just posted a link. You can watch several free lectures, so you can check out the course and learn that. And as a Blab special, it's only $5 to get the full course. So learn more by clicking that link.
Yeah. And Phil, if you've got something that you want to share, you're welcome to do that. And if you're a Udemy instructor with a course already, and you want to share a deal, let's say something under $20 with the people on this Hangout, if you want them to join your course, if you got a free course on Udemy, anything that that is Udemy related, go ahead. See, Phil's got the videoschoolonline.com, but you can post your course here. I want you to be able to share that out with everyone. That's part of like why I have onlinecourses.com, $1 or onlinecoursecoupons.com and $1 courses, is because I want to be able to help Udemy instructors promote their courses and get those out there in places that they might not be able to have their courses promoted in, because I've got traffic coming to those websites that doesn't necessarily, that those people don't know what Udemy is yet. And so I'm going out there on Facebook and Twitter and sharing that stuff. And I've seen a lot of signups for courses. Matt knows when I do that, he's had 8, 10, 12 signups with that kind of stuff. And now those are new students that when Matt releases more courses, that he can get those individuals to sign up through cross-promoting to those new courses that he's teaching.
Honestly, I've had more than that from $1 courses. $1 courses for Dennis and I. It's been an accomplishment. Like he's done well with the website. He owns it. I don't have anything to do with it. I list my courses for $1, and I mean, yeah, it's only $1, but I'm getting new leads. I'm getting people who wouldn't necessarily spend $10 or, whatever you want to charge for your courses. And I'm getting them to to get to know me and the information that I offer. So I would recommend $1 courses.
Yeah, you know what? It almost sounds like when I say it, $1 horses or something like that. Hey, we've got somebody here joining us, and I think Glenn, his name sounds very familiar. It's flashing and it's coming in.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Glenn.
All right.
Thanks
Can
for
you hear
coming
me
out. Question.
Yeah. You just brought up the topic of leads. I was wondering if anybody uses any type of squeeze pages and then direct them to your Udemy course so that you can get that external autoresponder lead and then market to them with other products as well.
I do, but I'm not a pro at it yet. I use lead pages, and I have to force myself all the time to remember to do that. But I do have landing pages that I've created with lead pages.
I mean, it definitely works when you can lead traffic to your website. Obviously, the more traffic you lead, the more emails you can get. And I mean, for the little traffic that I lead to my website, because I don't necessarily focus on getting traffic to my website. I mean, I probably convert about 10% of the people who visit my website to give me their email, and then from there I can convert a percentage. But it does make sales, and it does pay for my website. It pays for my hosting. It pays to have the email list. So, I mean, I think it's worth it. And I think it's worth it if you put in time and actually get traffic to your page.
Right. Yeah, I just was thinking, because if you only use the internal mailing system, then all you can do is cross-promote your other products. Is that right?
Yes.
That are on Udemy? Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to back off now, and thanks again. Hey, Dennis, I wanted to say thank you. I think you're becoming like the practically the spokesperson for Udemy, because I see you all over the place. And you guys have been following you for a while, and I really admire you guys. So keep it up. I'll look forward to watching you grow.
Thanks, Glenn. I certainly appreciate that. That makes my day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Glenn.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I just wanted to follow up on that really quickly so I don't do that at all. Like that's like my next big project when I have time, is trying to get set up all of my courses on my website to have squeeze pages. But I know someone asked about paid advertising, and I haven't done a lot of it, but just as a suggestion, if you are going to do paid advertising, definitely send the traffic to your own website. Send it to a squeeze page, a landing page where you can capture their email address rather than just straight to their website or to the Udemy course itself on the Udemy site. And so that's my big next step, is like figuring out how to get more people through videoschoolonline.com to my courses. And whether that's on Udemy itself or using Fedora, I just have to figure that out, but that's a huge next goal of mine.
Yeah, what about social media? How are you doing with that?
Social media is doing pretty good. I passed 1,000 likes on Facebook, so that's
awesome.
Pretty good.
Yeah, good.
I'm getting a little bit more interaction, engagement on my posts, and with this Blab stuff, I'm getting more followers on Twitter. But yeah, definitely I've been posting my videos that I post on YouTube to Facebook as well, and they seem to be doing pretty well on there. And yeah, just getting really more hardcore fans on my Facebook page than on my website and other places as well.
Yeah. Does your wife help you with any of your marketing of your courses, or?
I wish. No,
she's got her own thing going on.
Yeah, she's a social worker. She just got her master's in social work, and
nice.
She actually just landed a full-time job. So she's going to be starting that. It's been nice because I've been working from home, and we kind of just get to hang out all the time. But she'll be bringing in another source of income, so that'll be good.
And do you ever outsource any of that stuff to maybe Fiverr.com?
I need to do that. No, what would I do? What type of stuff would I outsource?
Well, you know, one of the things that I found, so Matt, he's been doing more Fiverr stuff, and I have some Fiverr gigs out there that I promote. If you go to Fiverr.com, I have gigs to help people promote their Udemy courses, and Matt's doing some of the same in different spaces, you know. And now that so it would be able to help you, like maybe find somebody out there, like a virtual assistant or something like that, to do your posting. Because on the onebuckcourses.com, I found a gig out there from somebody who has 90,000 followers on Twitter. I have just over 3,000 followers. And I can tell you that when I had him send out a tweet on Twitter, not Tweeter like I did last time, Twitter, and I could see like my numbers, because I do the affiliate marketing stuff. I had a really good day. So like for the $5 that I invested, I did over $40 in commissions through affiliate marketing on that day. So, you know, a lot of people don't think about that when you think about your courses on how to promote your courses and market your courses. Look on Fiverr to see if there's somebody out there that has a gig that might give you some assistance on writing a blog post for you or promoting your Udemy course. Do a fun video or something like that you can put out there somewhere that's not like the normal. Because I keep telling people, when you're posting your coupons to Facebook and you're just throwing that link in there and going on to the next page, you're not going to see much exposure out of that. But when you have a really cool image that stands out, then people are going to stop and look at that and say, maybe I want to click on this and see what they have to offer. So that's just one of the reasons why that Fiverr came up. And you were saying that, you know, because you know that I give you a hard time about social media, and it's not to give you a hard time. It's because of how well you do. Same thing with Matt and myself. That could you imagine if Phil was promoting more on social media? If he did $13,000 last month without utilizing social media that much, what could it possibly be if he was utilizing Twitter and Pinterest and Blab? You know, that's why I'm just bringing that up.
Phil, if you want to start using freelancers and hiring, I mean, I don't know if you want to hire employees for your business. The question to ask yourself is, what do you do great? What do you do best? You keep doing that, but the other things that you don't do great, then outsource that.
Yeah, that's totally great advice that I need to do, because even so I was working full time and teaching all these courses on the side. And now I'm doing this full time, and still I fill the 40 hours a week or more with so much stuff. And yeah, it takes a lot of time to just post the courses online, to write an article, to just write the promo announcement.
Stopped in mid-thought.
Yeah. I got to talk to you guys more about that.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit at the end.
Yeah, you cut out when you said it takes time to do the promo announcement, and then it cut out.
Oh, yeah. It just like there's so much stuff that it takes a long time to do. And yeah, I think what I'm good at is creating the course videos. If I could trust someone and find someone to edit the videos for me, oh man, that would be a godsend. I would pay someone a lot of money to just edit my videos for me to the standards that I do, because I am a video editor. So it's hard for me to be like, I'm going to give this away to someone. But if I could find someone, yeah, Odesk. Yeah, that's a good, see, this is the problem though. I've had bad experience trying to hire someone to do work for me on Odesk and Elance. And so I just have to spend the time to like find the right person.
People per hour?
I've never people per hour.
Upwork.com now.
Growth Geeks might be good. You got to pay. I don't know how much you want to pay people per hour, but I don't know what your limit would be.
We're like telling you how to run your business.
Yeah.
We're giving suggestions.
We want you to have more time with your wife, so this is what we think you should do.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. No, I feel like all of a sudden I feel like that we're in a mastermind group, and that's what's kind of cool about this, you know. It's like that we're having this discussion and we're helping other people out, but we're also having this discussion too, like amongst ourselves to give advice to people who are watching today. So Odesk is Robert had mentioned that is Upwork now. They changed their name, but I think that's instructors, once you start getting to that point where you're making some decent income, if you really want to start taking it to that next level, that's why I'm into Fiverr, because it's only $5, except if you do things like the gig extra and stuff like that. And I utilize Fiverr to help me, but I also do gigs on Fiverr for additional passive income. And it works nice for me. In July, I took a road trip over to Crater Lake and Bend and the coast and up to Seattle. And I had built up like several $100s on Fiverr income that went onto my PayPal card. And that's what I used when I was eating at different places. And then, of course, the Udemy revenue came in, and it was helpful. And I'm going up there again. And Udemy and Fiverr, that's how I'm doing it. I've got my MacBook Pro, my microphone, and a good internet connection. You can go anywhere and do this kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool, like talking about this kind of stuff, because we're giving you like some of this advice, and you're giving us advice and giving everybody else advice. And it helps people understand the possibilities of what's out there to help you to be successful.
Yeah. Quick, continuing our mastermind, I just want to ask Matt, how are those personal finance and the retirement classes going for you? Because that's like something I'm super interested in, and I've wondered like how well would a personal finance class do on Udemy?
Okay, so for me, I've seen a couple of your lectures. I think they're great, and they are different from mine, which is cool. And for me, I've had my retirement course up for about 18 months, and that's made me over $2,000. I think one of the issues with Udemy, at least with my student base, is they don't necessarily want to spend money to make money. And obviously for retirement and investing in the stock market, I have no idea where Dennis just went, but for courses that because obviously investing in the stock market, you need money to make money. And I don't necessarily know if my student base has money. So, and then my personal finance course, I mean, I've made $300 so far this month with it. I personally, my brand isn't as strong as your brand. So you coming out with your own personal finance course at a better quality, maybe more information and stuff like that, you would do better. I just can't execute it necessarily as well as you can. So for me, I mean, it's made more than your cat course has in 1 month. And I mean, my expectation for the next 12 months, I mean, I think it would make $5,000 in the next year. And I think the concepts that I have in it are relevant for the next 3 to 5 years. So, I mean, I think that's a good week's worth of work that I spent creating the course.
Yeah, totally. So I see on your like personal finance, so you obviously have 10,000 students, and a lot of those probably came in for free. So because because I post my courses for free places too, but I never seem to get like that, like 10,000 students. Is that because it's the topic, or where are you posting your free coupons?
I also think it's the topic. And I mean, everything is like the best Black Hat forum, and they're actually really good at creating like kind of like having it go viral in the essence where people on there will take my free coupon and they'll just list it on a bunch of courses for me for free. And just it just gets me so much social feedback right there. So all I got to do is just post my courses onto the Black Hat forum. And yes, most of them are for free. And if you look at Udemy to see the most successful courses for personal finance, you won't see many people enrolled in courses for that topic. So I don't know necessarily if that's a great topic for Udemy. I have no idea. I only have $300 back, and I mean 10,000 students, which is mostly free.
Yeah. Okay.
Good luck with yours, though. I'm gonna definitely watch
Well,
that.
I'm not even planning on teaching a course yet on it, but it's just interesting. I
You're
just wondering.
posting videos on it?
It was just YouTube videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
a course on how to not do bad things with a checking account.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are in debt, so I think if you can teach a course of how to get out of debt, I think that might be of value to some people. And Udemy's so small with only 7 million students. That's so small. So we're just building for the future and being patient and planting the right seeds.
Someone asked a question. I don't know if they're still on, but he was from Italy and he was asking about teaching classes in Italian and if it was worth it. And even though there's like there's probably a small audience that speaks Italian, I think it's just kind of what you just said, is that like Udemy is going to continue to grow. And if for some reason Udemy does really well with Italian speaking students, if you could be on the platform and be like one of the first and the best Italian online instructors, then you'll do really good. And I feel like that's kind of like how I started. I was on the platform a long time ago, and that kind of has allowed me to like just be on it and build my brand over the past few years. And so as Udemy expands into these other markets, if you can be there when it starts in that market, even if it doesn't seem like you're making a lot of sales right now, if they grow in that market, I think it'd be killer to be like the top instructor that speaks Italian or French or Spanish or whatever it is.
Yeah. We talked about that on a past blab, and I actually looked it up and I just brought it up again. If you're curious about like what language maybe to teach a course in, Chinese, of course, is number one, and there's over 1 billion speakers around the world. Then Spanish, English, Hindi, Arabic, Portuguese, Bengali, Russian, Japanese, and then the last one, I have no clue, but English is about 330. That's not right. So I don't know what these numbers, like why they're off. That's 1 billion. Because I was going to say with English, that's like the population of the U.S. Maybe I'm looking at that wrong. But anyway, those are the top languages. Spanish, Chinese, English, and then the other ones, Arabic, Portuguese. So think about that when you're coming up with courses, that if you teach it in one of those languages, and thinking about that, there was somebody who posted in the studio who taught a course in Arabic, and it was a very popular topic, and he did 18,000 in 1 month with that one course because it was extremely popular. So, that's just something to think about when you create a course. And Dave has posted, he's got a blab coming up next week. Blab will be about how coaches and experts can turn their knowledge into income. And he had that one, and him and I had talked about that. And if you're interested in getting into coaching, Blab is a really good tool to utilize for that. So click on that link, and all you have to do is subscribe. I'll have another one coming up with Matt probably next week if he agrees on it. Probably not on Thursday because it's your birthday, right?
Yeah, it is my birthday this Thursday, so we can't do blabbing about Udemy on Thursdays next week. But I mean, I'll have a day open next week. I can't do Wednesday either. So, something maybe.
I can't do Wednesday either because I'll be at Duran Duran in Seattle on Wednesdays. So
I want Tuesday.
I will be driving to Seattle and arriving at my hotel. We can do it later that evening from my hotel, maybe.
What time this evening?
Well, we'll talk about it offline, but that might be a fun thing. Just because I was thinking about, I'd like to drive to Bend, Oregon, which is 6 hours away from here, and do a blab from Bend, and then go to another city or town and do a blab from there. And I was telling you, I want to do like Udemy after hours or Udemy after dark or something like that. I just got to have privacy because that I live with my folks and they're gone. So I can do a late night blab right now until they come back from California. But, once I have my own place, I can blab anytime. But I think it would be cool to do a blab at midnight or something like that. So
I'll think about that.
and then you can bring this out at midnight or whatever.
Oh, bring out that beer.
The Oktoberfest.
I also had a beer today that's made by Shipyard. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's called the Ringwood Brewery Old Thumper, a beast of a beer. So I think I'm getting to a point where I'm buying a bunch of craft beers, and they're kind of all tasting the same to me. There's like a lot of the beers that I had today during the blab. I had two by Sierra Nevada, and then the other one. They all kind of, the Vienna by Sierra Nevada. They're all great beers. It just kind of tasted the same to me. I don't know if you feel the same way, Dennis. They all are ales and lagers.
Yeah, they do. I mean, after a while, it's like that's why I kind of separate between beers or when I go to dinner, have certain beers. So I was looking at a message here. I wanted to make sure that we didn't miss any questions there. So those of you who have to leave, I appreciate you joining us today. We're still 40 people.
I don't know why people are listening.
I know, this is crazy.
It's like blabbing.
Like Dave was saying that this is so addicting, but it's such a cool way. I've done webinars and I've done Hangouts, but I just like the way that Blab works, and I love the layout on the screen. It looks really nice. The only thing that I could say, the one thing that they could do that would just really make Blab stand out is the screen sharing, so that when you're walking through something that you can show people the steps. And once they get that, it's like, I think they've got like it down with what they're doing. Somebody is saying it's like passing an accident. You can't look away. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I know what it means, but I don't know where that came from. Blab does not work with Safari. I don't work with Safari either. I only go with Chrome or Firefox, and I'm on a MacBook, and I don't use Safari. I've just always liked the way that the Chrome browser works, and Firefox. What do you guys use?
Chrome.
Chrome for sure. And when Chrome actually doesn't work, I'll use Firefox. And at least on my laptop, I find that Firefox is actually probably a better web browser than Chrome is. Yeah, Dave said that he uses AOL, but I have a feeling that Dave is using a yellow notepad for his web browsing. I don't even know what that means. He does. Yes, Dave knows. Because when he does his blabs, he holds up or when he does, like I talked about course creation, he writes it down on your typical yellow notepad. So Commodore 64 dial-up. I actually have a Commodore 64. How can people read that? No, because Dave. What does he do? Big writing with a Sharpie. Oh, big. Yeah, but it comes out reversed. He writes it reversed. It does. Well, yeah. If I held something up, it comes out like a mirror form for me. Can you read that straight? Yeah, it's called some old thumper. Oh, on my screen it's reversed. Yeah, of course for you. Well, I don't know what you guys are seeing. Yeah. Hey, so let's ask questions on Udemy course creation or Udemy in general. I'm sure Phil wants to go pretty soon. I know that it's getting late for Matt. We still have people on with us. It's coming up on 4 p.m. Mountain Time right now. So we've been doing this for 2 hours now. I don't mind sitting here answering some questions. I don't want to ramble on and waste your time. So Tim from Australia. Hi, Tim. Nice to see you. Hi, Tim. Tim's got a question. Go ahead and ask that question. You want to come in on the open seat there and join us? I mean, at least for me, I'm not going to get any more work done at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'm good to hang out. He can't. Okay, so go ahead and ask your question then, Tim.
Yeah, I just got a dentist appointment at 4:00, which everyone should pray for me because I hate the dentist. So
you hate the dentist? What are you getting done at the dentist?
I actually had a root canal like a few weeks ago. And they're trying to get the right crown in, but it doesn't work. So they had to remold it, and God, such a pain.
They're gonna build a microphone into his tooth for him.
That's what I asked.
Do you have a temporary crown right now? Those are the worst. I had one. This tooth right here is fake. It's something similar to a crown. So they just carved out the root of it. And every time I wanted to bite into something, it would fall off.
No, it's so annoying. Okay, so, did this question get asked?
Yeah, so Tim is asking this question. He got his first strike today on Udemy because they are doing the strikes now. And he put the coupon code placement on his course in the last lecture before the bonus material. So is this a new course? Are they actually going and giving you strikes if your courses that you've had for a long time
I don't understand. What did he get his first strike for? He placed his coupon code he put it in the last lecture before the bonus material. So you can only put in your coupon code in the last lecture as your bonus lecture, the one that you can do anything that you want to promote anything that you want to. Yeah. So that's why. Just put it in your last lecture.
So what's your okay? So as long as it's in that bonus lecture, then you're okay. But do you know, like, if you've, like, let's say if you have that in one of your courses before they started doing this new thing with the strikes, are you good? It's just in new courses if you do that you'll get a strike, right?
I'm not sure, actually. I wondered about that.
Because you got 40 courses that you'd have to
I'm sure that there's a lot of things that I did that's not allowed anymore.
What about you, Dave?
I think they gave you a month to learn everything, and I think that they want you to uphold the rules and even in your old courses too. So I'd go in and I might make some changes if you need to, Phil.
Yeah, it's just like I don't remember, like, I know I haven't like posted coupon codes in my courses, but like maybe like saying that, like I have another course like about this topic, like in the middle of one of my courses, like I'll have to go back and do a lot of work.
Oh, well, I mean, just as long as you don't post links to those courses, you're okay. Did Phil freeze again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, a question. So maybe Tim can answer this. When you get a strike, what do they do? Do they send you an email or what?
Yeah, they send you an email.
Probably an email. Let me see if I can bring up the policy on that while you're talking.
Okay, so Tim said, and an email.
He said, I have a problem with clarity of policy. This is a warning email.
So that's under the trust and safety is what they call it now. I think that's such a weird name for it.
Why?
I don't know. It sounds weird. So yes, you will receive an email from policy@udemy.com about the strike, the reason why you received it, and the consequences. So I've got a link right here. Excuse me. I'm going to post that link. This is on teach.udemy.com and /trust-safety and then FAQs. So that'll give you information on what happens, what the consequences are. It's basically certain things happen until you get to the last strike. And that last strike, you don't want to get to that point because you're basically off of Udemy. And $50,000 fine.
You don't want to ruin this opportunity on Udemy. You want to follow the rules and make money on the long term, because the money that you can make on Udemy, even if you're only selling on Udemy for 5 years, it's going to outweigh the short-term money that you want to make breaking the rules in 1 year. It's going to blow that money away. So you want to follow Udemy rules, because Udemy is so small right now and it's just going to get bigger, which means you have the opportunity to make. Yeah,
and I've seen some people who have problems with that, and somebody had, I'm not going to name names, but they already had a strike or something like that, and they were complaining about it. And it's like, if you're not doing or violating policies, you have nothing to worry about. It's there to protect students and other instructors, because if instructors are violating Udemy's policies and pissing off students, those students are going to leave the platform, and we all lose from that, because then we start losing the student base. They go to other websites because the students, they don't want to be spammed. They don't want crap. I've seen, there was another instructor that sent out a message that said that they have over 40,000 students. And when I went to go look at their profile, they only have 15,000. And I'm like, why do you want to lie and tell people that you have 40,000 when you can see right there in your profile that you only have 15,000? I don't really care that you have like 40,000 students. What I want to know is, how good are your courses? What are you going to teach me? And when I see instructors who release courses that have no previews, and their promotional video doesn't have them, it's just some fancy production from Fiverr or whatever, I'm like, what are you hiding from me? Why aren't you showing me like how you sound, what you're like as an instructor? I don't have a problem with showing my face or like what I sound like or anything like that. I don't do the best quality introduction videos, but I want people to know, hi, I'm the instructor that's going to teach this course, and here's why you should take this course from me. And by the way, I've got 30% of my lectures open for you to preview. So before you spend your hard-earned money, that $10, see what I'm teaching, how I sound, and take the course. And if you still don't like it, Udemy has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what's the problem with that? Other instructors out there, they're hiding something because they don't want people to know what they sound like or whatever. And I understand that there might be people who come from other countries that think that they have a thick accent or whatever. And I tell them to get over that, because I can understand them. Let other people listen to you or whatever and see if they understand you. And if you do have a thick accent, there are courses out there to help you with that stuff. To, because English, of course, that's most of the courses on Udemy are in English, even though a lot of people who are students are now coming from other countries like India. You still have to learn to have pretty good English for people to understand you. So,
and there's always going to be people who are haters in general. I mean, I was talking to Dave on on his blab and saying that I had a bad, I think a 1-star review once because they said they couldn't stand my accent. And I didn't even know I had an accent. And of course that's just me being ignorant, and I'm sure I have a California accent, but people are just going to be haters. So you just got to get past that.
Wow.
But on that note, I actually am going to take off. So okay. I hope everyone enjoyed my blabbing. And again, you can find me at videoschoolonline.com. If you have any specific questions, just reach out to me there and I'll email you back or whatever. And it was fun, Dennis and Matt. We'll have to do it again.
Hey, before Phil leaves, everybody give Phil a round of applause. Everybody give Phil a round of applause for all the great information that he gave. His props, whatever it's called. Awesome. Phil, good luck on your dentists.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
See you later. Take care.
Okay. Bye, guys.
See
Bye.
Ya. Bye. Thank you.
And Tim is coming in here. I've got about 30 waiting for a friend who's normally late anyway. So,
what are you doing tonight, Dennis? Reveal that on the blab.
Yeah, sure. I'm having pizza with my friend, and I'm helping her move her photos from her Android phone over to a hard drive because she likes to take 50 million pictures, and she no longer has room on the phone to do anything. So I'm helping her with that. I don't know why Tim's not able to come in.
Me neither.
Do we have any more questions? Like why? So why is the strike?
Questions. Dave wants to go surfing with Phil.
Yeah,
they're both in California. I wonder if Phil surfs.
I think so, probably, because they had their blab. Robert's asking, like, I'm not sure if we answered like why a strike is given. It's given because somebody's violating Udemy's policies to protect students and instructors. They're doing something to game the system, and you can report that kind of stuff if an instructor is spamming you, or you just think that they're doing something that violates Udemy policy. You can report that, and they get a strike. And I'm sure that they can, like, have like some kind of review or whatever, possibly with Udemy. But I put that link in there that talks about the FAQs. And if they hit so many strikes, then they're gone off of Udemy. And I can tell you that, Matt and I have had discussions. I've had discussions with other instructors about instructors who violate these policies because it makes other instructors look bad. Let's try to get Tim in again. So
Dennis,
Dave,
did you post the link to the new policies video that Udemy made, or the video course that Udemy made?
No, can you bring that up?
Yeah, I'll bring that up. And everybody needs to watch it because you might inadvertently be breaking Udemy's rules, and you wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want to get a strike and eventually get banned for all of your hard work. Tim's finally here. Hey, Tim.
Hello. Hey guys, how are you? I'm on my phone. Isn't Blab amazing? I'm actually on a Chrome browser on my Android device.
Wow.
Sitting here, beautiful. I like going on. I wouldn't host a Blab on a phone because you can't see all the comments coming through. But I'm on the beautiful Gold Coast in Queensland, so I'm just going to walk out onto my balcony. I'm just going to turn around and show you the hell. No, this is what I'm going to put up with, folks. This is about 8 o'clock in the morning here, and this is my home.
What a nice day.
And overlook the pool, so it's absolutely amazing in summer. It's a tough place to live, this part of the world. Hey, Dennis, great to catch up with you again. Going to have to do some more blabs, and Matt, wonderful to meet you too. It's been I have got some of your courses and do follow you. Got a lot of respect for you, and just haven't had a chance to sort of pop up personally and say good day. So yeah.
Thank you, Tim. That means a lot to me. That really does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Look, yeah, I just want to. I don't want to have a. I'm very pro instructor, so to speak, and I'm just a little bit concerned. And this is what I've just written back to Udemy, because I'm not a person who really pushes the rules, and I don't want to stuff around and that sort of stuff. Everything that I do with Udemy is I genuinely try to stay within their guidelines, okay? And when I looked at their policy and everything else, it said you could put a link to your coupons into the last lecture. Now, to me, the last lecture is before you start putting your bonus material in. And then when I've gone through and looked at other instructors' courses that I've got, this is exactly what they've done. As their very last lecture of their course, they put in their coupon, because I actually went through a couple of other instructors' courses just to work out what was the right way to word it and where to put and everything else. So I thought that I was well within the guidelines, and then I was quite shocked to see this email this morning. So obviously I've just gone straight on. I've moved the lecture down. I've even put bonus in front of it, even though it's down in my bonus section. My question to them was that there is an issue, like when you watch what people are saying and everything else, people do have an issue with. So I don't want to look. I'm just trying to get my phone at the right angle here, so I'm not looking down on you guys. With clarity, and we're saying a lot of people, a lot of instructors on Udemy aren't native English speakers. They may not actually have a true understanding of the policy. I think people who teach how to teach Udemy courses now really have to go back and look at their courses and make sure that the information that's in their courses is now accurate and in line with policy. Because if I go back and look at some of this information in some of these courses that I've got on how to create Udemy courses, it's going to people are going to make mistakes and get strikes, and that's also dangerous. And the other thing that worries me is that, okay, so I don't have a strike, I've got a warning, okay, but now the next time I make an honest mistake, I'm going to have a strike unless I can sort of talk to them and go, listen, come on, guys. So my question to them was, okay, I'm sitting on the verge now of getting a strike if I muck up again. What happens when it's not understanding current policy? Okay, so now we've got an understanding of current policy. What happens when they change their policy again, which happens so frequently, and then somebody makes another mistake on that new policy? What happens with the strike then? It's a genuine mistake, but because they've already sort of mucked up on a policy, on another policy change, they change the policy, you make a mistake, now you get a strike. And that sort of, I mean, they've really got to sort of look at their system. And as I said in my email to them, I know there are instructors out there who are seriously really pushing the system, breaking the rules, and annoying. So I know that Udemy has to protect its property. It's got to protect its playground, make sure there's no bullies. But they've also got to be very, very, very clear so that when they bring these policies out, there can be no misconceptions. As I said, I looked at the policy. I thought I understood it. I thought I understood it to say, as your last lecture. And then when I looked at other courses, that was the way it was. So what do you guys reckon?
I think you shouldn't necessarily look at other courses because those courses might be breaking the rules and you don't want to emulate that in your courses. Did you watch the Udemy video course about their Udemy policies?
I've got it. I've looked a little bit of it, but and this is the other thing too. Like, I mean, I'm not a full-time. I'm a busy person. Okay, and I have enough time trying to find the time to create courses because I'm spending 90% of my time giving away free information, like on blabs and podcasts and blogs and that sort of stuff.
30 minutes. It's a 30-minute course, so the next time you get 30 minutes, I would watch that. Get yourself caught up on it because Udemy. To answer your question, Udemy gave you a 30-day grace period to figure out and follow all the rules. So if they change the rules again, if they adjust them, I would assume I would hope at least that those changes to their policies, they would give you another grace period to learn them, have your questions answered, and everything like that. So because you do raise a great question about what if they change their policies. Well, the only thing that they would be able to do is give us another grace period so we can learn them. And I wouldn't necessarily follow what other instructors do. I would make sure that, number one, you're within the Udemy rules and policies. And then knowing the rules, you can emulate what other Udemy instructors do, would be my advice.
Yeah, no, and that's good advice. And I think that's something that's a lesson learned. So it doesn't matter how long you've been playing in the playground, you can always fall off the swing and scrape your knee and learn a lesson. So,
I'm guilty of not watching that video the entire way through. I've watched most of it, but do you usually watch that stuff on a PC or a laptop?
Dennis, it's 30 minutes long. You got to watch it.
I know. But like Tim, it was saying I get distracted by something else. But what I was going to say is that the thing that I've learned now with Udemy videos is you can fast forward it. So you can do 2 times the speed and then you can get through something much quicker. And so now that, I know that I didn't even realize it was 30 minutes long. So I'll go watch it and make it 15 minutes, but we have to. I mean, we have to watch that kind of stuff because I don't want my income to be cut off because of my stupidity. I understand where you're coming from. I'm hoping that if somebody makes an honest mistake, that they're going to be lenient on that versus where you can see that somebody flat out violated their policy and gamed the system, because I see that all the time. There was somebody who created a course and once it got approved, changed the course image so that it had text. And this was after they changed their policy on not having text on the course image, but the instructor still did it. And they did it because they knew that somebody wasn't going to go back and look at that. but they forget that we have the ability. We're not tattling on someone. We want Udemy to be fair for everyone, instructors and students. We want that good experience, because if, like I was saying earlier, if people start to leave Udemy because instructors are spamming them, or they're putting other instructor courses within their promotional messages, which you can't do, then people are going to leave Udemy for another platform, because there are people that just don't like being spammed. I don't care, because I think of it as a lot of times as material that might benefit me in some way. As long as I have a way to unsubscribe and then they don't continue to send me stuff, then I'm good with it. But there's other stuff that I don't mind getting because it might be beneficial to me. But there are people out there who just don't want to see it.
Correct. Yeah, I think I said what people probably know where I stand when it comes to Udemy and everything else. And I said I'm not going to knock the platform. It is a very important part of my overall business, but it's not my business. You know what I mean? Like I'd hate to lose my place in the Udemy platform, but it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. But I think it's just, as I said, just to make sure that now, and I don't know whether. So, and Matt, you're saying that we've got to go back through our past courses, because I know there's probably one course there where I'm probably, maybe even two courses, where I may have to slide some information down to the bottom of the course. Like I say, I've got a strapping course where I have organised a discount deal for people to buy tape, because what's the use of having a course on how to apply sports tape if you don't have the sports tape to apply and practice with? So probably about the third lecture is I actually have a resource sheet saying, now if you need to buy tape, get on these guys and you'll get a discount. I'm not going to talk about. I also get it's an affiliate thing, but I put it at towards the top, because people need to be able to buy tape to actually to practice it and to actually go through. So now I've got to probably slide that down the bottom too before I don't want to get pinged again. So yeah.
Yeah, you have some valid points, but I just posted a link to the bonus lectures. The policy on that is very simple, so you'll want to take a look at that, everyone. Matt, did you post a link to the course that they released on that?
Yeah, I did. It's let's see if I can. Yeah, here we go. This is the link to the course that everybody needs to watch on their policies. The grace period is over as of 3 days ago. So any policy that you are breaking, you'll get a warning, and then strike 2, and then so on until 4, until you're banned. So you don't want to break any of these policies. That's the link right there. Enroll for free on Udemy.
Good. Hey, I don't know about you, but I think that we should be wrapping up, and we'll be doing this again. We'll pick a date next week when with me traveling and you having your birthday. But
do you want to pick? We have 30 people watching right now. Do you just want to pick a week right now? Pick a day right now on Tuesday. Can you do Tuesday? What time would you get back?
I would have to. No, I'm traveling on Tuesday. I'm driving in a car. So.
What do you have any idea what time? Ballpark it so people have an idea. People are leaving right now, but
yeah, I can't give that right now because I'm.
Right.
It's like I leave on Tuesday and I have a hotel room, and I might stop. The way that I drive to Seattle, I don't drive straight through. I stop and take photos and enjoy the view.
Take that off, man. Let's just take a week off. It's my birthday on Thursday. We'll have blab about Udemy every Thursday, except next Thursday we're taking a break. It's like regular TV.
Yeah. If not, we'll find a place. We'll find a place because I'm actually going to be staying in Seattle until about early October before I have to travel back here. So we can still do a blab from Seattle. They do have internet there too. So, and Dave's next blab is Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And he's going to be talking about coaching and experts and stuff how you can use Blab to utilize the features on Blab to get that out, your coaching business and stuff like that, grow that business. But
hey,
I would like to stay. blab forever.
Wait, what? What, Dennis?
Oh, I would like, like for me, I don't mind staying and blabbing for a while. It's just that like sitting down in a chair for 2 hours and
get up, man. I'll talk.
You'll talk? Okay, you go ahead and talk, and I'm going to grab some water, and then I'll come back, okay?
All right. That's all right. Dave, when you can just type this to me. When's the next? Do you want to join us on the next blab, Dennis? You can just stand up, Dennis, and keep talking. So when's the next Thursday? We should just do. This will be for sure October 1st. We should have Dave Espino on here
at the same time. Oh, we'll have Dave on
the same time, 4:00.
Yeah,
Eastern
that would be awesome. Same
1:00 your time in California.
We'll skip a week, and it'll be the same time. I'll be in Seattle, but I can do this from Seattle. So
I mean, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Let me go grab that drink. You talk.
Well, that's what I was gonna say while you stood up. I don't know. Tim, you have any more questions?
No, that's about it for me. I just wanted to come on and just find out whether you guys had sort of been pinged or anybody else had been sort of pinged recently, or whether it was just because this was a new course and they're double checking what's happening with new courses.
So as a Udemy instructor, it feels great to get to know Tim, because Tim is a student of mine, and he values my work, and I value that he values my work. So it's amazing to have him on, and it makes me feel good as an instructor knowing that students actually value what you do. And I think that as time goes by, I mean, I've gotten 1-star reviews, 3-star reviews, all the above. And there's times when you don't necessarily think that your content's great, and you kind of question what you're doing. And people like Tim truly matter and make you feel good, because they're actually taking the initiative, and they're actually putting together what you're doing. If it's like a step-by-step guide, he's actually trying his hardest, I hope, to be better as a Udemy instructor. I know you said you own your own business too, Tim, and Udemy would be more of a smaller side income thing for you. But it doesn't matter. You're looking into it and you're learning from our experiences, right?
Absolutely. And I must say, with Blab and Periscope and that sort of stuff, because being a podcaster as well, so being an instructor and just putting that video up in a video course, or just talking into a mic when you're doing a podcast, it's a lonely world, and you don't know whether you're actually connecting. You don't know whether you're actually giving information. But Blab and Periscope, man, like I said, I brought my podcast interviews over onto Blab now, and I'll also be blabbing regularly as well, because now it's this interaction, it's this connection, it's getting to know you at a whole new level, being able to answer questions in real time, being able to coach people. It's absolutely an amazing platform. So it's definitely, I can see this is the way of the future, and instructors, like I stumbled across Blab because of Periscope. I don't know how many days I've been on Blab, about 35 days or something or other, and I just saw it for what it was, and I mentioned it to Mark Timberlake, and he sort of screamed squirrel, and I went, no, we'll come on to a Blab, and we'll give it a go, and we all got on, and it was just absolutely amazing, and we could just see like this. There seems to be like an endless possibility for what we can do as online coaches and instructors with this sort of technology. And my vision is that this is what we as online instructors and coaches have to be offering our students in the future, that students will come to expect and even demand. And now I'm starting to sound like one of my promo videos for one of my courses, but students will come to expect this sort of level of accessibility to their online. So the online instructors who embrace this technology and make themselves available to their students, and because here we're not breaking any Udemy policy, because we're not asking for an email address, we're not asking for any personal information. at all. So we're within those guidelines. We can bring them on. We can talk to them. We can coach them. We can do whatever. And the instructors who embrace this will be far more successful than those who just post a course just because they want to make some money and walk away. That's my view.
Yeah. Hey, what are your thoughts on Periscope? I haven't really used it yet or really looked into it. I've seen courses that are out there.
Periscope, I personally like Periscope. As I said, I found and fell in love with Periscope before I found Blab. Blab and Periscope, they're the same but different. They both bring their own unique offerings to the table. Periscope is very mobile. Well, so is Blab now, as I can see, because I'm talking on my mobile phone. But what Periscope can do, okay, now with Periscope, it's only just me, would just be me doing a talking head, or I could actually flip the camera and go out the back camera and actually film what's around me, okay? Which is what you can't really do with Blab. So say I'm a personal trainer and I can go into my kitchen and I can actually be filming as I prepare a meal or prepare a snack, and then people can type, because they can still type questions and comments. So those questions and comments can come to the screen, so they can direct and ask questions. Or like I did a few months ago, coming back to my past as looking after elite athletes and strapping them up before they trained and played. I now look after a local team, so I took my phone into the change rooms at the local football club where I was preparing these players before training. I got my son to hold the camera, and we just fired up Periscope, and we filmed as I was strapping their ankles and preparing them before they trained. And once again, people were coming from all over the world asking questions and directing, and then we're putting the phone at different angles so they could see different things. So that way, it's a different tool, but I think it's still a very valuable tool. And so if people ask me what should I be using, Periscope or Twitter, so Periscope or Blab, I say, well, depending on what you're teaching or instructing, probably both. I think the format for Periscope too is that they're a lot shorter. So because once again, even with Blab, you see people surf in, surf out, like flicking channels, and the same thing happens with Periscope. So like you'd only sort of do like a quick 10 minute go versus like you wouldn't go on for an hour and a half, but you can store the video to your camera roll, and you can use that as content onto your website or course or whatever as well. So
I think my understanding of Periscope too is that it might have a bigger audience right now than Blab. It's probably more popular than Blab is, and a lot of people who are periscoping that I know of, the only problem with it is they use a tripod for their phone because they don't want a shaky camera or anything. So I feel like for me, Blab is a better platform than Periscope because, I mean, first of all, I like the fact that multiple people are on the Blab with me, and I don't necessarily just have to talk to people who are joined in because, I mean, it's kind of like having a conversation with yourself, and I don't know if that platform is for me. But I hope that one day Blab grows to be as big as Periscope. And, of course, both platforms are very small, so I hope that they grow even further than that. But I think Blab right now is much smaller than Periscope is.
Yeah, I think. But if you look at Periscope, I think they had something like I think it's only like 2 or 3% of Twitter users are on Periscope. But they went like something like 1 million users in their first month to 2 million users in their second month to 10 million users in their third month. Like they had this exponential boom, right? And I'm sure we're going to find the same thing with Blab. But Matt, look, say you're at like a conference and you're walking down the hallway and you run into one of the keynote speakers, and that keynote speaker is an expert in the field of your course, and you go, hang on a minute, I want to interview you, and you pull your phone out of your pocket. You turn on Periscope and you say interview with Donald Trump, right? And you hit broadcast. You use the back phone or your phone, so you actually got Donald Trump on camera, and then you start doing an ad hoc interview with him. Then all of a sudden these comments start coming up your screen, and they're asking questions, and then you start asking those questions of Donald Trump. So now all of a sudden your audience is directing the questions of your interview with that person that you're doing right on the spot. So once again, I said, don't look. For me personally, I'm with you, Matt. I think Blab, for what we do, is a far better platform because of what we're doing now. We've got a three-way chat. We've got all these comments coming up. We can bring some into the hot seat and coach them. Look, as I said, the possibilities with Blab are seemingly endless for us and our business growth. I'm with you there, but don't discount the power of Periscope as well. Like I said, Periscope is also a very powerful tool. Look, put it this way. Okay, I'll give you a little trick. A person wrote a Periscope course. Her name is Kim Gast. Okay, she sells that Periscope course for $97. It's not on Udemy. It's on her own site. She did a Periscope, what we call scope, and she made 5 figures in 20 minutes. Right? Don't underestimate the power of Periscope. Okay, when these tools are used properly, and it wasn't a hard sell. Like it wasn't come sell my course. It's just dropping a link. Well, you can't drop a link in Periscope, but just say, if you want more information, check this out the same way as we do in Blab. But don't underestimate the power of these tools. I mean, they can work for you.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, I wanted to just ask a question for those that are remaining. How many of you are Udemy instructors, and how many of you are looking at putting a course onto Udemy, or how many are just here because you saw Udemy courses and you were curious about the Blab?
And Dennis, after this question, Dennis, I'm going to jump off. I got to send a couple of announcements to my Udemy students. And then, and then I'm going to just hang out and relax and stuff like that, because it's 6:30 here. Yeah,
I know. I was thinking we're going to finish that up. It's 4:37, so I've got my friend coming here pretty soon. I'd like to talk or blab all day, but and just real quick, for those of you who are joining us, the cool thing about Blab is you're automatically going to get an email from Blab once the replay is processed, so you can watch this all over from the beginning. And Matt and I and Dave Espino is going to be joining us on, did we agree on the 1st of October?
Yeah, Thursday, October 1st.
At same time, which is 1 o'clock Pacific, 2 Mountain, 3 Central, and 4 Eastern. So we'll be doing this again, talking about Udemy, something different. We've done Udemy marketing. This one we tried to do, more of course creation, so we'll talk about some more things. We've got 24 people remaining, and people come. The thing about Blabs is people come in and out, and which is cool. But at some point, we've got to say, okay, I got to go have dinner. I've got to go meet my friend Matt's got a girlfriend coming home pretty soon. It's in the morning for Tim, so he's probably got to have breakfast or his coffee. But yeah, and I want to do something like a late night type Udemy Blab. So I'm going to come up with an idea for that and see how many people I can get to join me and talk about just anything Udemy. It doesn't have to be marketing. It doesn't have to be course creation. But Matt, thanks again for joining me. And Tim, thank you. And everybody else, remember to talk about this and share this. You can find me online at dennisjsmith.com. I've been sharing Blab and Udemy resources. Matt's been sharing his stuff. Tim has got courses out on Udemy. And you can just go to Udemy and type in Tim Cooper or Matt Bernstein or Dennis J. Smith, and you can find us online.
Wait, don't leave yet, Dennis.
I'm not. I'll let you add.
All right. If you wanna learn more, you can watch several free lectures right here. And if you like what you learn, it's only $5 to unlock the free course. And if you learned something from Dennis, I, or Tim today, please give us some props right now.
Yeah, and I'll plug in my link real quick there. It's got some great resources on Udemy and the stuff that we've talked about, but it also has some links to my courses with some great discounts. I teach a Udemy marketing course that gets some great reviews, and I teach you where to go online to put your course coupons out there. And Tim, type in there where they can find you at your podcast or whatever.
I'm going to try, if I start typing, I'm going to go really wiggly. But if they just go to ecoursedomination.com, so that's just those words together, ecoursedomination.com, then that's my main site. You'll find that's my blog site. So that's links to all my podcast episodes. There's a podcast link on the menu up the top to learn more about the podcast. So that's what, and you find me on Udemy, and there's a few other bits and pieces there. But I just wanted to let you guys know too, like Matt, you sort of panicked that Dennis was going to go. The blab will stay open, and even the recording will stay open while there's still somebody active in the box. So even if the host gets dropped off, like say lightning strikes the computer, and he's got to go and find another way to come in, the blab will still remain active, and it will still continue to record even if the host isn't on.
I know it does that, but personally, I like to just cut it off so that way it processes, and it's got. Since I'm the host and all of that, it's like leaving the kids like at home and then coming home and finding the home a mess or something like that.
Oh my God! What did they say when I was gone?
So Tim actually has interviewed me on his podcast, so you can listen to the podcast that we did. It's been a couple of months, I think, but
it's been a while back. I think you were episode 11, just off the very, very top of my head, and I saw Mark Timberlake sort of lurking up the top bar there too, and I think he was episode 10. I think he just sort of sneaked in the episode before you. But guys, absolutely, like Dennis shared an absolute wealth of knowledge when it came to promoting your Udemy courses, so very much worth a listen. And I do believe there's
because we share some similar experiences in our life where we've lost jobs and stuff like that, and so we certainly understand that. But I'll go ahead and end it, and then we'll pick up again in 2 weeks on October the 1st at the same time. And we might do something I might do something in between if I find some time in Seattle. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you for attending. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Matt. Thanks. One more thought.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Christy Lambert. I appreciate everything is that you're a fan and everything else. So
she's got some great stuff.
She does?
Well, she shares some funny stuff in there.
The pictures,
the screen captures and all of that. I really appreciate the screen captures. So
Sheldon Cooper, that's genius.
Yeah. So go spend time with your girlfriend, and I'm going to go spend time with my friends. So goodbye, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you later.
Thanks so much, Dennis.